Yeah, funny how it changed now. Same people that laughed at clips, studying the clips now. Everybody got opinions till the facts land. Everybody loud till they gotta take a stand. Every stream feel like somebody betting they pride. I seen fake scholars fold in real time. Now they screenshot takes, run around and remix it, and pull up thinking somehow they can fix it. Nah, you stepped in the wrong room, donut. This ain't rage bait, this pressure. Patriarchy, race, class, labor, healthcare. I don't do surface level, I peel layers. And every time they think they got me cornered, numbers go higher. Chat, flyer, mods, working, crowd waiting. Somebody finna get cooked tonight. Welcome to the ring now. Yeah, talk big till the facts come out. Slap nuts, sit down. Welcome to the ring now. Yeah, got the whole chat screaming when the logic break down. Yeah, welcome to the ring now. You ain't built for this smoke. Y'all slap nuts ain't got milk for these donuts, so pipe down. Yeah, you might drown. You don't want war with the king right now. I don't debate for applause, I debate for the record. Every false claim get dissected and severed. You rehearse outrage, I study the structure. Difference between noise and somebody with substance. You quote tweets, I quote policy. You want moments, I want honesty. You want ego boosts and virality. I want mutual aid and stronger communities. That's the difference between you and me. See the problem? Different type timing. You came for clips, I came for alignment. Capital this, socialism that. Half these dudes can't define what they yelling in caps. Talking about free market while wages collapse. I watch your pivot arrive, I make it visible live. But this ain't never gonna be a place where evidence dies. You came all the way to be Santana for internet rap, while the whole chat waiting to see who got checked. Next, welcome to the ring now. Yeah, talk big till the facts come out. Slap nuts, sit down. Welcome to the ring now. Yeah, got the whole chat screaming when the logic break down. Yeah, welcome to the ring now. You ain't built for this smoke. Y'all slap nuts ain't got milk for these old donuts, so pipe down. Pipe down. You might drown. You don't want war with the king right now. Yeah, welcome to Sparring with Santana. Bring your sources or bring excuses, whatever. Doesn't really matter either way. You're about to get cooked. You should know who I am by now. What?
Guys, welcome back. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters or anyone that disagrees with anything on the background. I am Santana, guys. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you are friendly, do all the wonderful things. Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. If you could, please share the live to your profile, to your FYP, and to your stories. That will help the live so much more than sharing it to a bunch of people. Please share the live to your FYP and to your stories. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We got to talk about the decline of America. We got to talk about the decline of our country, and we have to talk about the fact that there is a multitude of people that's responsible for the decline of our country, right? And first and foremost, we got to talk about the Republican Party. I've already talked about the Republican Party and the decline of the Republican Party, right? We absolutely have to get into the fact that capitalism is a failure and that socialism is absolutely what we need to be leaning into. I spoke about that a little bit in the sense of what Donald Trump has been able to do as far as capitalize, making billions of dollars, right? But also there are other things that are causing the decline of America. And one thing that we have to absolutely talk about is the hand in hand that white privilege and white supremacy play, right? Understanding the way that looks and the way that actually continues to perpetuate itself is a super interesting thing. White privilege, LMAFO, this guy. Sure. Hey, Grant, I don't even care. I'm just going to go ahead and mute you. Either you come up, you don't. I don't care. I just muted you. If you disagree with white privilege, then request up. If not, I don't care. Legitimately, I don't care. Anywho, white privilege and white supremacy literally goes hand in hand, right? And I think that it exemplifies itself in a multitude of ways, right? So I got a couple of videos that I want to share with you guys, and I do want to preference the actual videos with letting you know that this is absolutely going to be some gross videos, but I think they're important to see. Actually, dang it, I didn't upload all the videos. Give me a second. Dang it. I got to grab those. I forgot to upload all of the videos. You know, it's fine. I will play one video for you while I'm getting the other ones up. Actually, no, it should be fine. Hold on 1 second. So there's a couple of videos. There's 3 videos that I want to share with you. And then I want to talk about how those things actually go hand in hand and how they actually continue to elevate each other, right? So first and foremost, there's a video, and I'm going to show you the video. I want you to be able to see the video along with hearing what's being said in the video. So give me a second. I'm going to put it on the screen.
I was.
Okay. All right. This is the first one.
I was out niggered, and I will never be out niggered again.
One more time.
I was out niggered, and I will never be out niggered again.
All right. So that's the first video. All right. The second video that I want to share. Second here. FYI, these videos are really gross. I'm letting you know right now that they are absolutely gross in multitude of ways. Here's the next one.
Well, it's almost July 1st, which means the 4th of July is coming up. It also means Black History Month is over and Gay Pride. Now what are you motherfuckers gonna cry about?
Yep. You didn't have to see that one. That was not one that you needed to see. You just need to hear that one. There was no need to actually see that one. I just wanted you guys to hear that one. All right. All right. Last but not least, there's one last video that I want you guys to hear. You're not going to see this one. You're just going to hear this one. You're not going to see it. You're just going to hear it.
You really don't know racism until you're in an area where it's like all diverse and you're the only white person and you can't even get a job because you're white. But only white people are racist, right?
So the reason for playing all 3 of those videos is to have the conversation about how white privilege and white supremacy go hand in hand. And the reason why white privilege and white supremacy go hand in hand is because of things like that. Because white men can get on the internet and not openly, blatantly say the N-word, but they can hide behind, oh, it's a song, oh, it's a dance, oh, it's just a cool TikTok trend. I didn't actually say the N-word. I just zoomed in as the N-word was playing. It's also white men championing the fact that, oh, these people are part of marginalized communities. Guess what? The representation that they get, oh, it's almost gone. We don't have to worry about that. Right? And then the last one was a white woman who doesn't know what racism is, but claims it was racial discrimination that she wasn't able to get a job. That's all forms of white privilege while perpetuating white supremacy, because they go hand in hand. Right? Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Fly on the wall. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Okay. Those are all things that go hand in hand. I think a lot of people not only have a lack of understanding as far as what racism is, but a lot of people have a lack of understanding of how to actually interact with people of marginalized communities, and even more so how harmful people are when they have a lack of understanding as a whole. I don't know who Izzy is. Actually, I think Izzy, yeah, Izzy's a fucking troll. No one gives a fuck about Izzy. Izzy wasn't in the request. Izzy was just a fucking troll that wasn't in the request. 0 followers, 10 following. None of them are brave enough to actually come up here. And it's not even about debating. You know what it really is? People in general, right? Just harmful, hateful pieces of shit. And since they're hateful, harmful pieces of shit, they just they take the coward way out. Right? They take the coward way out. They hide. They make fake profiles. They want to say whatever they want to say without the consequences. I'll give you the greatest example. There's someone who keeps requesting over on YouTube, and I keep dropping him out of the request. It's because it's the same person that comes up every single day, and he never comes up and adds anything. He just comes up every single day, fat, and that's all he says. That's all he says. And he thinks that, oh, he's hurting my feelings or like da-da-da. No, it's what it really is. You're such a fucking coward that you spend all day making fake profiles, and then you come in and that's the only thing you say. There, you have no other substance. But even more than that, you're too much of a coward to put your name on it. You're too much of a coward to turn your camera on. The only reason that people feel this brave is because they are all fucking cowards. This takes me back to the video that Barack Obama was talking about Donald Trump, and was talking about how Donald Trump says all of this shit, but he never says it in his face. That's the issue with the internet. That's literally the issue with the internet. The issue with the internet is that people have gotten so comfortable hiding. And when you have the ability to hide, you become as brave as you want to be. That's why they slur so much. They say weird, gross shit to women, and they talk about the queer community. Hell, they vilify trans people because they know that they're just hiding. Honestly, I'm just over fucking cowards today. Like, if I'm going to be serious, I'm just over fucking cowards. Hi, are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background?
Yeah.
Yes, Trump supporter. Yes, disagree, or what?
A little bit of a supporter, but yeah, I did disagree with some of that shit behind that.
Okay, tell me which point on the background you disagree with, where you like to start.
Art.
Tell me which point on the background you disagree with.
No, it's loading.
Start. Okay. W's in the chat for Brittany for the $5 donation saying, I was singing along with the track by the musical artist Santana when you went live again. I was listening to Into the Night, but Smooth is my favorite track of his. Do you like his music? And if so, what's your favorite? Yeah, no, Carlos Santana is actually a piece of shit. I used to fuck with him before I learned more about him. But I appreciate you. W's in the chat for Josh for the $5 donation saying, religion is a plague. It's not even religion is a plague. It's the people who weaponize religion. That's really the plague. W's in the chat for Benjamin for the $2 donation saying Eve is a trans clone of Adam. That's just science. Actually, that's true. Not only is that science, but that's funny. That's funny. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background.
Yo, why did you kick me?
Oh, I thought you were saying something was loading.
No, like the
oh, okay. I apologize.
like your prompts are loading.
I thought you was about to try to play something weird, so I kicked you. I apologize.
No. The Republican Party of Destruction. I guess that one.
Why do you disagree with the Republican Party being the party of destruction?
Well, can we just talk about like immigration?
Sure.
And why I support Trump's views on immigration?
Sure.
All right. Well, I think he secured the border.
Okay.
Encounters are down 95%. There's more overall agents there. Crime is down. Drug trafficking is down. You know.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it about.
Okay. None of the stuff you said is true. Didn't secure the border. None of the stuff you said was true. He didn't secure the border. He didn't pass any type of legislation. When it comes to troops or anyone being at the border, there's been more times under the Biden administration where there were more troops at the border from the U.S. and from Mexico. When it comes to encounters, like encounters, I think you may be conflating encounters and gotaways, which we can talk about those as a whole. But I think there's a misnomer as far as who is or is not coming into the country. Last but not least, even the premise of like drugs coming into the country is now a misnomer. As of now, there has been a rampant flow of F drug. Please don't say the name of any drugs or I have to kick you.
Yeah.
There's been a rampant flow of F drug that has increased coming into the country, including New Mexico is like actually spiraling from the amount that is now coming into New Mexico. So just overall, like the premise as far as what he did or did not do when it came to the actual border, like he hasn't been successful.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, the first thing you said was wrong because there's all-time high in number of Border Patrol agents.
Prove it.
And it also increased in National Guards there.
Prove it.
DHS.
What's the title?
Border Patrol agents all-time high. And then
Border Patrol
agents, all-time high.
agents.
It's like 21,000.
All-time high.
And that's also why the encounters at the border are like down 95% from Biden's all-time high too.
So the FYI, and I apologize, maybe I wasn't clear. I wasn't talking about the actual agents. I was talking about the troops that are at the border, but like
National Guards.
Yeah. That's
but
what I'm
that's also
about.
up like 50-60% too.
Yeah,
Trump said
but how many has he sent to the border?
1,500 more.
1,500 more.
Yeah.
From what number? Where are you getting that one from?
It's just known facts.
It's not. Where are you getting that from? Because when he signed the actual emergency act and he deployed additional troops to the border, he deployed about 8,000 total. But even still, under the Biden administration, at a certain point, there was like 10,000. I mean, I think it's silly to pretend like as if this is something that's overall decreasing the amount of people coming in or out of the country, because there's other things that are.
There's a 90 to 95% decrease in encounters from Biden's all-time highs.
Well, please don't cut me off again, okay?
Yeah.
It's silly to believe that the actual driving cause for any of this is because of the additional agents that's at the border. The reason why I say that is because we have economics to talk about the real implication and what's been driving down border crossings. It's the fact that the Trump administration has been using ICE as his slave patrol, rounding up undocumented immigrants, putting them into free slave labor, and then selling them to concentration camps. And so much so that even other countries are telling their citizens don't travel to the United States of America anymore. We've ended up on a human rights watch list. Tourism as a whole is down, specifically in some of the cities that are most popular for tourism, including Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and New York. And we have seen a decrease as far as normal travels, like snowbirds from Canada that normally come from Canada and go down to Florida. They made a decision to not spend their money because of what the Trump administration is doing. So those factors directly connect to the fact that the people are making the decision to not come into the country because of those reasons, more than just people being at the border.
Well, I also think all that's due to polarization and propaganda. There's actually more domestic tourism than foreign, so
that's not true.
I don't think. Yeah, it is.
Domestic tour. What do you mean domestic tourism? Be specific with
like U.S. citizens.
I apologize.
U.S. citizens going to another state to travel.
Oh, you're saying so people in the U.S. travel around the U.S. more than people coming into the country?
Yes.
Where do you get that from? I'm not saying that it's wrong, but that just doesn't sound right.
It is right.
Sure, prove it.
Most people in USA don't even travel outside of their country their whole life.
Yeah, I know, but prove it. Most people inside the U.S. never move out of the city that they're in. Most people in the U.S. don't actually travel. So, yeah, where are you getting that we generate more in tourism domestically than we do from international travels?
Yahoo News, ABC. It's all just known facts again.
No, it's not. Give me an actual source.
Yes, it is.
Give me the source and the title, Kev.
You want me to find it?
Sure. You just gave me the one for DHS. I gave you credit for being correct as far as the number of current Border Patrol agents that were hired.
All right, I'll go find it.
W's in chat for Jamie for the $10 donation saying, Ben Love Island Focus back. I'm back PM. My Zoom tanning. W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. W's in the chat for Lydia for the $2 donation saying this guy is gonna waste your time. It's gonna be a waste of your time. He just spent over an hour on Johnny's live, and he's just we don't want to say that. That's a ableist saying, Lydia. I don't think
U.S.
there's any
Travel
hope for him.
Association.
You hear me actually speaking? I don't think there's any hope for him, but we'll see what he can do. We'll see. I'm willing to give him a chance, unless he keeps interrupting me. I'm just going to kick him because I legitimately am irritated with that shit. Debbie's in the chat for Gar for the $9.99 super chat. Say, Santana, I know Carlos Santana personally. I was at his house a couple of months ago jamming with him. Why is he a bad person? I can confront him in person. Yeah, don't worry. I saw a couple of people asking about Carlos Santana. Don't worry. I will get you that information. We'll talk about it here in a few. I think that and W's in the chat for Manders for the one chair bit to say, I didn't know Carlos Santana was a POS. Thanks for educating. I looked it up and F that guy. Yeah, absolutely. W's in the chat for all the donos, guys. Oh, W's in the chat for Miss Bellicella for the $5 super chat to say, they're always whiny about providing proof. Just trust me, bro. Yeah. Well, and we don't believe you. You need more people. W's in the chat for all the donos, guys. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Keep tapping the screen, guys. 1.1 thousand people hanging out on TikTok. Look up at the top. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. Turn on notifications so you know when we go live. We go live all the time. All right. You said the name of your source is what?
Yeah, U.S. Travel Association. It says that domestic tourism counts for 90%.
What's the title?
U.S. travel forecast.
Okay.
90% of domestic.
Is this the one from May 7th?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the period that it's forecasting for?
Let me check. I don't know, up to now.
The spring 2006 travel update project, traveling spends growth travel update projects travel spending growth at low but positive rate. Continue the trend seen in late 2025, early 2026. Bolstered domestic travel spending is expected to grow by 1%, inflation adjusted in 2026, accelerating to 3% growth in 2027, 2028. Resilient domestic demand is partially offset by ongoing economic pressures, including inflation and geopolitical uncertainties, right? So even this is sitting here saying that the premise as far as geopolitics has had a large impact. When it talks about the actual, and FYI, forecasting means in the future. So just so you know that. Travel footprint remains massive, and it's an essential part of the U.S. economy. Total travel spending forecast to reach 1.37 trillion in 2026 and 1.4 trillion in 2027, adjusted for inflation. Domestic travel accounts for 87% of the total, and at 1.2 trillion has returned to the 2019 inflation adjusted level. International bound travel is projected to rebound from a 2.4% decline in 2025 to a 1.6% growth, reaching 178 billion in spending, supported by the increased travel of the World Cup. What does all of that say?
That domestic tourism advocates for more than foreign.
I don't know what words you thought that you just put together.
Domestic tourism is more than foreign. It just said 87%.
You said that I talked about the reason why people were coming into the country. I talked about the decline that had occurred due to Donald Trump and his policy. I talked about the fact that there had been massive hits to the cities that do tourism. And you said, oh, that doesn't matter because domestic travel accounts for 90% of tourism. So that's not a big deal. I said, okay, prove that. This source that you just gave me, U.S. Travel Association, while I'm not even haggling on 87 to 90%, that's close enough. What does forecast mean?
Future.
Okay. So if I'm talking about the implications that have already occurred and you're giving me something that is looking to the future, how does that prove or disprove what we were talking about?
Well, it's still true that domestic tourism is greater than foreign.
That was never the claim. I talked about the implications that occurred due to Donald Trump and his policy and the massive hits that we've taken within the economy. And your point was that doesn't matter because 90% of the tourism is made up of domestic tourism, meaning the economic implications that have happened due to Donald Trump and his policies are not a big deal because we had more than enough to offset with our domestic tourism. This doesn't talk about the domestic tourism that we've had. This only talks about forecasting, which is projections for the future. And even if you want to talk about where it's been, I mean, they talk about an actual slowing rate. Like just now, the projections are just hitting the rate that they had back in 2019. So I say all this to say, again, this doesn't actually prove the point that you tried to make.
Well, the original point was that the border is more secure. You're the one that was talking about tourism.
Yeah, I was talking about the fact that Donald Trump has leaned into doing things like using ICE to round up undocumented immigrants to feed them into free slave labor and then to sell them to concentration camps. I'm saying that has had more of an implication than any of his quote unquote policies and the fact that other people's citizens are not traveling to the US. That's what I'm saying. And that's when you brought up the whole point about, domestic travel.
Yeah, but I don't really get where you're going with that because border is still more secure. Not down 90% in encounters, more agents there, just less people going or less people trying to go through the border. And it's not racist to support borders.
I don't give a fuck about that. Like, that was just stupid to say. Like, please keep the stupid shit to yourself. Please engage directly with what I'm saying. The reason people aren't coming into the country as much is because Donald Trump and his policy of using ICE to round up undocumented immigrants and feed them into free slave labor and then ship them off to concentration camp. It's not because the borders are more secure. He didn't pass any legislation to address the border. It's not because there's more quote unquote troops, because at times under the Biden administration, there was more troops. I will grant you that, yes, they've hired more border patrol agents, but that's not the direct reason. It's literally the policy of cruelty, which has landed the United States of America on a human rights watch list. We are literally on a human rights watch list.
Well, I also think that's a little bit of a exaggeration when you talk about concentration camps, work camps. It's all exaggerated.
You know what CCOT is?
No.
You're advocating for like border policy and deportation, and you don't know what CCOT is.
What is it?
It's a torture camp in El Salvador.
Sounds a little over-exaggerated to me.
Nope.
That you're saying it's a torture camp.
A well-known torture camp where last year, I think it's anywhere between 300 to 400 people died. And Kilmar Albergo Garcia was actually deported there, and the Supreme Court demanded the Trump administration bring him back. And then once he got back, he detailed the specific type of torture that he had to endure while at that concentration camp.
You said a torture camp in the USA or El Salvador?
No, I said that they're selling him into free slave labor, and then, I'm sorry, they're putting them into free slave labor and then selling them to concentration camps.
Mm-hmm. Well, that just doesn't sound true.
Okay. Do you know what the 13th Amendment is?
Nope, forgot that one.
W's in the chat for Alice for the $1.27 donation saying, hi, it's Alice. Just caught up with the VOD before your reset. Mike was a nightmare. He absolutely was. W's for Ari, solid. Jeff, hope you're okay. Happy Disability Pride Month. Happy Disability Pride Month as well. W's in the chat for Elizabeth for the $1.27 donation. Oh, wait, hold on. Why is it? Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Sorry. Elizabeth for the $2 donation saying, thank you for everything that you do. What was the Deuteronomy V? I don't know what that is. Deuteronomy 5. I can't fucking say that. The Bible chapter, Deuteronomy. Holy smokes. I can't say the word. I don't know. I would have to look up that verse. I'm not exactly sure what you were getting at. W's in the chat, guys. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you are here and you'd like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. So we were talking about the overarching premise of like white privilege and white supremacy going hand in hand. And one thing that I did want to talk about, right? And one thing that I did want to talk about is like the community as a whole. Old man, I'm muting you. I don't care if you come up or not, but you don't get to talk in the comment section anymore. You can request up. You cannot request up. I don't give a fuck. Legitimately, I don't give a fuck. So there's that. One thing that I do want to talk about, and which this is something that we've been trying to talk about on late nights, and I think it's important that we talk about it here as well. When it comes to like people that hang out in the chat and people who claim to be on the right side of history, a lot of times you guys don't know the things. And it's really weird that people, if you sit here every single day and you actually like participate in our community, but you don't know what ableism is, or you don't know what racism is, or misogyny is, but yet every single day you show up. And then when someone is up on the panel saying something that you don't like, you lean into homophobia or ableism. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? How are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Drop you down. You guys, you don't know any of this shit, right? And then when not knowing it, and then you're corrected on it, and when the mods are saying like, hey, don't say that, that's ableist. Hey, don't say that, that's homophobic. Instead of you guys taking the correction, you like fight it. You fight it. That shit's so weird. It's so weird. But I think that like it boils down to a lot of people think that you know what it is? It's a lot of people think that just because they didn't vote for Donald Trump or they don't support Donald Trump that they're a good person. Right? A lot of people think that just because they don't support the Republicans or they didn't vote Republican or they didn't vote for Trump, that, oh, that makes them a good person. And electoral politics is like the least of our concern. Because it's not just people who are actively like saying, oh, I don't like what's going on. Most of the time it's just you don't like what's going on because it's happening to you. So many people are only upset about what's happening currently with the Trump administration because it's affecting them. Not because of how electoral politics has affected people as a whole, especially marginalized communities. Not because the Trump administration had been cutting funds from veterans, specifically cutting the crisis hotline for vets to call when they're in crisis, literally cutting that. You guys don't care about that. You don't truly care that transgender people are being forced out of the military, being forced to give up their career, and being forced into accepting something that they are not. But you guys do care that your team didn't win, that your team isn't in power, your team isn't in the White House. I don't know. I don't get people sometimes. Because while like Trump supporters are openly like horrible pieces of shit, I can't have someone who claims to be on the quote unquote right side of history, but at the same time have no sense of understanding of intersectionality. I can't have someone who claims to be on the left, but at every single turn is upholding the patriarchy. I can't have someone that's on the left who claims to care about racism and white supremacy, but has no idea what racism is. It's just interesting. People are interesting. What did Michael say? I missed it. I heard a guy debating Solid, I think it was yesterday. And Solid was talking about how men, we are harmful. And the guy was like, well, how are men harmful? And then Solid was like, well, are you someone that identifies as a man? And he said, yep. And he said, well, you're harmful because you benefit from the patriarchy. I don't see Michael, but mods mute Michael. Like Michael either, oh, here it is. All the bot spam requesting. Yeah. Michael, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm not even sending you an invite. I'm just muting you because fuck you. You're a coward. Like, sincerely. Sincerely, you're a coward, and I don't care. You can come up. You can not come up. I don't care. How are you, Trump supporter? Disagree with something on the background?
Yeah, so I would say that I am a Trump supporter. I do believe that Trump is trying his best to fix the issues with the ICE immigration. I'm a huge supporter of immigration laws, as
Why?
well as, oh, yeah. Specifically, I don't believe
You
that
sound
we
a
should
little
have.
muffled.
Oh, yeah, my phone dropped in water. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no
I can
worries.
probably speak a little bit louder for you if you can't really hear me.
Yeah. If you also, I don't know if you have it in the case or not, but that may help if you have it in the case to take it out.
Oh yeah. So I'll just say that I'm a huge Trump supporter because I support ICE immigration. I believe that I don't think we should have illegal immigrants within the country. I think that it's a huge red flag for our country to specifically have illegal
Why?
immigrants in the 12s of millions.
Why?
We have millions of
No,
illegal immigrants.
stop
who
there
have
for a
not
second.
went-
Why?
Why what?
Why is it bad to have
Oh
undocumented
yeah,
immigrants in the country?
yeah, because they're not documented.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so what does that mean is specifically saying, how can I say this I would just say that specifically if we're looking at all of the individuals who are not documented, that would, that would just tell that they didn't go through the court system, they didn't get any, they didn't get due process, they didn't get anything, they
Okay.
didn't work hard to get into the country.
You're still not
And
telling me why it's bad to have undocumented immigrants in the country.
oh, you want me to tell you why it's bad to have
Yeah. Why is it
undocumented?
bad to have undocumented immigrants in the country?
Okay, yeah. So the reason why it's bad is because it sets a standard that other immigrants can come here illegally without coming here the legal way, and we
Do you
would
know the
not.
history of our country?
Yeah, sure, I do.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, like, which one do you want me to start with? Like the destruction of like the Native Americans, or
No, start with the way that Spaniards came and destroyed indigenous people even prior to Christopher Columbus getting to Turtle Island.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, we can look at the specific timeline at that point. I mean, they wanted to specifically get the land. They went there to specifically kill some of the, or actually not even kill, but to specifically go there and see what type of weaknesses they have. I've heard of this book. I can't really remember the book.
They went to actually do two
completely.
things. One, find gold. Two, spread Christianity. Those were the two main focus. There were people that were either super poor or low-level soldiers looking to make a name for themselves. And so they came here and they started slaughtering indigenous people and like taking land. That was the Spaniards. What happened when the actual English started to come to Turtle Islands?
They started to steal, I wouldn't call it steal because technically it wasn't their land.
They did. They not only did they steal, but specifically what happened when they came here? How were they able to kill so many indigenous people that it cooled the temperature of the earth?
I heard, because I'm not 100% good with history, but I heard there was a individual who did go to these indigenous lands, specifically sought out their weaknesses, and I think he said that they're so extremely gullible and easy to conquer.
No, that wasn't it. It was literally biowarfare. I actually just learned this today. I knew it was biowarfare. I thought that they were just so gross that when they came to Turtle Islands that people, actually just caught disease, but apparently they knew which diseases were potent and which diseases that they could properly spread, and actually had a targeted plan of spreading diseases to indigenous people. So at the same time,
they infected the water that they were, that they were using.
Yeah, they infected the water, the blankets, they infected the people. They did more than just that. But the point being is that they had a targeted approach to systematically committing a genocide.
Yeah, sure.
What about when they started actually, stealing black people from Africa?
Wait, but wasn't people in Africa selling themselves? I mean, I
Show
heard
me a
that
bill of sale.
Yeah, so the app. You want me to give you like the source or something?
I want you to just point me in the direction of one bill of sale. And FYI, everything else is documented. The ships, the amount of slaves, where they got them from, where they took them from, like when they sold them, when they got to wherever they were going throughout this transatlantic slave trade, like every other detail was written down and preserved, and we can access every single detail. Hell, we can access when the actual conception, the social conception of race was created. We have the actual documentation of that. I just need one bill of sale showing that any Africans actually sold other Africans to the colonizers. Just one.
Sure. Can I look it up real quick?
Sure.
All right.
That was in the chat for Foxy B. Hey, Foxy B. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. How are you? I'm okay. You sound tired and fed up. I am fed up. It's people. It's literally just people. I don't understand why people are so fucking gross. That's actually what it is. It's actually just I'm disappointed in people. Yeah. Did you know juvenile platypuses are called pluggies? Okay. Seriously, pluggies. That's so damn cute. Peace, love, and happiness. Thank you so much, Foxy B. I appreciate the 5 and also the actual feedback. Dubs in chat from Melissa for the $1 donation. And personally, I fully believe that humans need. I can't read that part out. Dubs in the chat, Melissa. Thank you so much for the $1 donation. You are absolutely amazing. Dubs in the chat for Phoenix High for sending out the one YouTube subscription membership. Dubs in the chat for Calvary for the $5 YouTube super chat to say main tech is YouTube. Main tech on YouTube. I'm calling you out instead of yapping. Why do MAGAs look to make Ted Bundy look like a good guy? That's because they suck as humans. W's in chat, guys. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Pay links, and Linktree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. You were giving me a source.
Yeah, so I did look up through the source. It didn't say that there was any bill that actually did specifically state that other Africans sold other Africans, but it does say that warlords. But it did say African warlords. So there were no bill of sales? No.
Okay, but there was everything else, including a bill of sale that occurred when they sold the slaves. But there were no bills of sale as far as purchasing the slaves.
Sure, I would agree with you here, but it says here that African warlords and rulers actually.
I don't care. I would like unless there's anything that can actually be proven, and i.e. they like I hear what you're saying. Seriously,
I mean,
hear me out. Hear me out for a second. Hear me out for a second. If I tell you that I'm going to write down the steps for you to wash clothes, and I talk about adding the fabric softener, I talk about adding the laundry detergent, I talk about like setting the washing machine, I talk about like taking it out of the washing machine, put it in the dryer, you know, the sheets, folding, putting up the clothes. I detail all of those other stuff, but I never actually tell you where to get the clothes from to put them in the washing machine. Does that sound like it's feasible that I would go through painstaking details to like list everything out and not even tell you where to grab the clothes from so you can put them in the washing machine?
I guess you're correct.
So the point that I'm making is if they have like detailed information on every other step within that process, every other step, even did you know they documented when they raped African women?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they documented everything else, but for some reason they forgot to document the bill of sales when they actually bought the slaves from Africa?
Then sure, I mean, that would be a good theory. I'm not very sure though.
It's not a theory. They literally stole Africans.
No, I'm talking about like the ability that they bought the Africans from other Africans.
It's literally because they were looking for coverage. I mean, not only did they steal Africans from Africa, they also did things like, did you know that one of the biggest moneymaker for the Americas during chattel slavery, a lot of people think it was cotton. Some people think it was tobacco. Did you know it was actually sugar?
Yeah, I heard about that.
What did they use the sugar to make?
I don't really remember. Is it fine if you can tell me though?
Yeah, rum. They took the sugar and they made rum, and then they introduced rum to these African leaders, and then would get them so drunk that they would be able then to, without impediment, steal Black people. And then when they caught on to it, they had to break away from going to Africa and stealing away Black people. Did you know that even with indigenous people learned that the colonizers were literally just liars and thieves? And so when they first met them, they were open to them, but then they got to the point where like they would try to pull up on the shores and they would never go near them, never come close to them. They used to try to invite indigenous people onto the ships. They said no, because they learned what they were actually doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be an obvious thing. I just think they had a mind of their own, that they would think that these individuals are trying to take advantage of them.
Got it.
But I mean,
hey, what happened?
That,
what happened after slavery ended? Like, let's fast forward this, right? After chattel slavery ended, after they went through like the breeding farms, after they continued to kill Black people, enslave Black and indigenous people, and sell them on the slave block together. And then Black people and indigenous people fought and took their freedom. Do you know what the period of Reconstruction is?
No, you can ask me, or actually tell me about it.
Reconstruction was the period right after slavery where Black people freed themselves and started to actually build as citizens within this country. And actually, it looked like they were on pace to even get reparations until Abraham Lincoln was murdered. And then Andrew Jackson said, "Nah, fuck that. You're not getting anything." But then that led into another period where a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people jump directly from Reconstruction and go to Jim Crow. But there was a period between Reconstruction and Jim Crow. Any chance you know what that period was called?
No.
Reclamation. The period was called Reclamation. And Reclamation was the period where the white people deemed that Christ, Jesus, ordained all of this theirs. Said it was their birthright, and Jesus demanded that they take all of it back.
Are you talking about the Israelis?
No, I'm talking about Americans after the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
And so they started killing Black people. They started trying to re-enslave Black people. They started to, Black people who earned votes to join political, they take political office. They stripped away their political office. They burned everything that Black people had. No, I'm not talking about the KKK. I'm talking about white people. This literally isn't even about the KKK. This is just white people in America after the Civil War, prior to Jim Crow. They literally went Wilmington, North Carolina. They went into Wilmington, North Carolina and massacred everyone because that was a Black thriving town and took it over.
Yeah, so I heard about that.
After they went through Reclamation, they of course went, to Jim Crow. Prior to Jim Crow, they had slave laws, pig laws. They made it like illegal for black people to not work for white people. Like literally made it illegal for black people not to work for white people. They also made it illegal for black people to just hang out. Vagrancy laws. But Jim Crow, separation. Then we get to the 1964, 1965 Civil Rights Act and the Voter Right Bill. All right. That's when like black people were full citizens. But once they started to shift away from black people, like literally carrying the country for free, there were other immigrants that carried the country for free, right? We talk about the Irish people that came here and were treated like shit until they made them white. We can talk about the Asian people that came here and they treated them like shit. We can talk about
they were white though. Like the Irish, when they did come, they were white. They never were considered white. Yeah,
exactly. Because race is a social construct. So they were never considered white until they made them white. Just like Italian people were never white until they made them white.
Yeah, but I think it's based off of skin color.
It's not. It's literally not. It's based off of phenotypical characteristics.
Okay, can you explain?
Phenotypical characteristics are socially acceptable. It's a grouping of socially acceptable characteristics, meaning like the shape of your eyes, your nose, your cheekbones, the curls, the pattern of your hair, all of these things. It's a specific grouping that deems you to fall inside of a racial category.
Okay, so I understand. So you're specifically saying that even though they weren't considered white at that time, over time, they match the specific phenotype of
over time. The United States of America incorporated them into whiteness because they needed to hold a white majority within the country.
Okay, so it's just all about the population of white people. They just wanted a huge population of white people within the country.
Yeah, but that's not even the point that I'm trying to get to. The point that I'm trying to get to is that you can go to the fact that there's been a multitude of different immigrants that have come into the country and literally propped up the country. And after black people did all the free labor and the country was stolen from indigenous people and then propped up by Asian, Italian, Irish people, the country is now being held up by undocumented immigrants, black and brown people from the global South who prop up industries like the service industry, prop up industries like the farming industry, prop up industry like the construction industry, who pays trillions, with a T, trillions of dollars worth of taxes over the last 30 years, who single-handedly has helped suppress the national debt, even though the national debt has skyrocketed. The reason why I told you all of this was because you was like, oh, well, having undocumented immigrants here, like it's not good because it goes against like the country and it sets the wrong example. When I tell you this country is a place it was literally created on the blood and dead bodies of so many different people for free. The idea that, oh, they should do it the right way. Our country has never did things the right way. And you vilifying undocumented immigrants because you think that the country has some sense of morality, you're just wrong. It's all just wrong. The only reason I took you through all of that, just so you can understand how deeply flawed the logic is when it comes to quote unquote doing it the right way in immigration within our country, because we've never done it the right way. Literally, the reason why Europeans left where they were is because they were dying, they were starving, and they didn't even know how to like till their own land. They didn't know how to survive where they were. So they set out and stole other people's land so they can survive on the land that other people had already tilled and already understood. And then they use those people to sustain themselves. That's the only reason Europeans left where they were. So this whole premise, as far as like immigrants coming into the country and they're doing it the wrong way, and it's, you know, that's bullshit. That's all bullshit.
Well, I'm not specifically stating that immigration is a bad thing. I do think that we need immigration because of our birth rate, you know, specifically not so high. Originally, it was supposed to be 2.1. Now it had dropped,
It's white people.
1.57.
It's white people.
Sure. I mean, sure.
Every other birth rate for every other race over the last 30 years has increased except white.
Well, well,
yes, over the last 30 years, every other race, the white race is the majority race within the United States of America. And so since their birth rate is declining, then the overall birth rate for the United States of America is declining, but every other race has seen an increase in their birth rate over the last 30 years. And even more, you see the increase of biracial people, including biracial marriages and biracial people having children. I'm sorry, people having biracial children. That's exploded, which is also leading to the decrease in the total the total birth rate for white people. And it's causing their average age to get older because they're not having babies.
I mean, I've heard a few people say that, and I'm not even gonna lie. I thought that was not real. I thought it was just something that was going on, you know, maybe around the world. But
biracial people are growing so fast that the United States of America census is contemplating adding a new racial category for biracial people in the next census. Right now, they only have 5 accepted racial categories. They've been talking about adding biracial in the next census as a racial category, which would make that the 6th racial category that we have.
I wouldn't even mind that. But what I'm realistically just trying to say is that when it comes to immigration, I don't have a problem with immigration. I only have a problem when it comes to like our country, right? Because we have legal individuals, you know, immigrants who come here, who go through the system, who go through a bunch of, you know, years to even come here.
Donald Trump is reducing legal immigration.
Yeah, but it sets an example that anybody can come here whenever they want without any. Say that again?
Donald Trump is reducing legal immigration. He's specifically targeting legal immigration to make sure legal immigrants can't come to the country.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah. So, like, what source would you give me if that's correct?
His entire agenda. He put it a part of his agenda in his first administration. He also put it in Project 47. They want to slow the legal migration of immigrants coming into the country. And even within his first term, he was super successful with doing that. The second term, he's done things like outprice asylum seekers, putting reoccurring fees on asylum, which includes application fees, yearly fees, filing online versus filing in person, all of these other things. He just got a ruling with the Supreme Court that allows him to actually turn asylum seekers away at the border, and saying that you can only seek asylum while being in the country. But the catch is you got to get into the country in order to claim asylum. And so if people turn you away at the border, then you can't claim asylum. He's also reduced the amount of refugees that are able to come into the country. Under the Biden administration, there was 175,000 refugees that were allowed into the country. Trump reduced that number from 175,000 to 7,500, and then expanded it for another 65,000. And 90% of the refugees that he has let into the country under his administration have all been white South African. They pulled TPS status for people like Haitians and Syrians. They've been doing things like going after immigrants who are going through the actual quote unquote legal process by going to courts. And after these immigrants get from their courts hearing, they grab them and actually try to deport them. Donald Trump and his administration is actively they're trying to figure out how they can denaturalize people. They pull green cards, and now they want to denaturalize citizens. They want to actually take away birthright citizenships, which they just failed with that. But they were also talking about taking away international birthright citizenships. They want to reduce legal immigration into the country.
Yeah, the entire argument with green cards, sure, I can agree that's not a good idea and you shouldn't deport anybody with a big green card. But the law clearly states that you can deport somebody who has a green card unless they commit a crime.
It's one thing that you want to talk about it. Out of all the stuff that I said, that's it. That's the only response.
Just correcting what you said.
Say it again.
Yeah, so an individual who has a green card sure has the ability to stay here, but they also do not have legal citizenship. They are only here because of the ability that they have a green card.
That's legal immigration. I didn't say quote unquote legal sim. I said he's trying to stop legal immigration into the country. I didn't say legal citizenship, but I named a multitude of things.
Oh, okay. So I just have one more question. I have one more thing.
Can you address any of the things that I said? Or, like, you talked about accepting immigrants that are quote unquote doing it the right way, but the Trump administration is actively stopping people from quote unquote doing it the right way. Those things are diametrically opposed.
No, not really, because if you look at the total population of individuals who are here that are undocumented, that's the only reason why he's doing this. I mean, you have to look at the fact that, Donald Trump is trying to, stop immigration from, getting to a high point where there's like maybe millions of other individuals here.
Donald Trump's trying to stop people from coming into the country because he's a white nationalist and he's putting Nazis in power within our government. They're literally leaning into the great replacement theory, who's been perpetuated by the richest man on earth, Elon Musk, who talks about how America needs to stay white. That's another reason why they only let white South Africans into the country. It's literally about keeping the country white.
Yeah, but I don't take Elon Musk as a serious individual within politics.
You don't take the richest man on earth who helped the current president of the United States of America get into office and who has a direct line to him. You don't take him serious.
Would you take him seriously in anything that he says when it comes to politics?
Yes, he is the richest man on earth who installed the current president by funding him right to the White House.
No, I'm not saying that he does not have political power. I'm saying, would you take him seriously when he's talking about political issues that do not involve him?
Yes. He's the richest man on earth who helped get the current president of the United States of America into power. Why would you not take him serious?
I don't know.
That doesn't even make sense.
I would say, because if we're talking about him as in general being, a billionaire, and he doesn't have a lot of experience when it comes to like actually running a country, I would say I wouldn't.
I agree. That has nothing to do with taking him serious, because he's the richest man on earth who installed the president by funding him to a level. Elon Musk spent more on the Trump campaign than any other individual in U.S. history. He spent $260 million to get Donald Trump into the White House. And as soon as he got Donald Trump into the White House, he was standing in the Oval Office wearing jeans and a fucking hat. But you don't want to take him serious.
I'm just specifically looking at the fact that since he's not realistically somebody who would have such power when it comes to, the entire country in a political debate, or even understand the difference between, Republican and Democrat, I cannot take him seriously.
What social media platform does Elon Musk own?
He owns X.
Okay. So if he owns X, does he not have the ability to directly influence millions of people?
I would say so. Sure, why not?
Yeah. That was actually one of the things that he did by weaponizing X to pump out misinformation, disinformation, and pro-Trump rhetoric prior to the election. to actually cause more confusion. Like you literally, he has direct influence in a multitude of ways. It doesn't matter that he doesn't have any political experience. Hey, do you know what an actual plutocracy is?
No.
Plutocracy is a government that's ran by the ultra wealthy technocrats, right? It's geared towards technocrats. People like to say, oh, it's an oligarchy. Holy shit. It's not. It's literally a plutocracy based off of these technocrats. That's why 7 of the richest men on earth were at Donald Trump's inauguration. That's why they pumped money into Donald Trump and have gotten direct contracts to continue to grow their wealth. That's why a company like Palantir, who donated to Donald Trump's ballroom and his transition fund, was rewarded a $10 billion contract. I'm sorry, a $5 billion contract, had $10 billion contract, made $5 billion in revenue and paid 0 taxes in 2025. Like it's all like all of this stuff. They're literally investing directly into Donald Trump and they're getting immediate returns on investment.
Sure, but wouldn't that just be an issue with like the government currently when it comes to like the loopholes these billionaires are able to go through? Like they're able to use loopholes to not pay taxes?
That's the issue with the country as a whole, and the way that Donald Trump has continued to actually gut the tax rate for corporations and the ultra wealthy. That's beside the point. I'm talking about the actual governmental system that Donald Trump is implementing, the reason why they're actually just doing this shit. And I go back to my original statement. Donald Trump is a white supremacist that has installed Nazis into the federal government, and they're doing Nazi shit.
I wouldn't go as far to call him a Nazi.
I didn't say Donald Trump was a Nazi. He's a white supremacist, but he has absolutely installed Nazis. He's doing Nazi shit, though. Did you see that gold eagle that he said that it's going to actually be on the front of the White House?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, that massive fucking gold eagle is literally a replica of the Nazi eagle. Did you know Donald Trump talked about like the Trump art, right? Like the archway that he's looking to build?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Hitler did the same shit in his idea with Germania. He wanted to build this massive archway for Germania, which was his ideal land of Germany. Hey, you know who also built a ballroom with the underground bunker?
Yeah, I can get this. Trump?
Hitler. Hey, you know who also, when the economy was struggling, decided to have this big ass like bash highlighting the car that belongs to the nation and trying to get people to go buy the car?
I can get this. Trump?
Hitler. Both of them. Trump with Tesla, Hitler with Volkswagen. Hey, did you know that Donald Trump's ex-wife went on record and said that Donald Trump's favorite book, which sat on his nightstand, was Mein Kampf? You know what that is?
Let me guess, it's Hitler.
It's actually it means my struggle in German, but it was written by Hitler. Yeah. Hey, did you know that Donald Trump had a massive rally in Madison Square Garden prior to the presidential election? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Hey, did you know it was the same day? I think it was like the same day, 60, 70, 80 years. I can't remember the exact same time, but the exact same day, exact same style as the Nazis who had their massive rally in Madison Square Garden, like literally the same day that the Nazis did it years prior. Hey, and then they also talked about like the undocumented immigrants being varmint and poisoning the blood of America. You know who quoted that line?
Hitler.
Yep. Hey, did you know Pete Hegseth, right after they changed his quote unquote title back to the Secretary of War, it was in a cabinet meeting and he had the placard sitting in front of him, and where it said secretary, for some reason it had 2 S's. You know who else use SS in front of their generals?
Hitler.
Nazis, yep. Hey, did you know before Kristi Noem got fired after she was defending ICE murdering American citizens, she stood in front of a podium in Minnesota, and the podium had on the front of it, "One of ours, all of yours." Do you know who coined that phrase?
Hitler.
Nazis, yes, when it came to the actual killing of Nazi citizens because German soldiers were being killed. They literally had a ratio for every one German soldier that was killed, they were going to kill 100 Jewish people. Kristi Noem literally used that phrase. Hey, the Department of Defense put out a recruiting video where it was super patriotic, and they talked about how they quoted a Bible verse talking about how you should defend the land and the righteous will inherit the earth, and you have to do all this, and they play like this super patriotic shit while quoting the Bible verse. You know who also used that exact Bible verse and that same rhetoric when talking about defending their homeland?
The Nazis.
Yep. Do you think that all that's a coincidence?
I mean, I would say I wouldn't say it's not a coincidence. The book part actually did get me. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know he actually had a Hitler book. That's a little bit surprising. I don't really expect that type of behavior from Trump.
You don't expect that from Trump? Hey,
No,
did you know Trump's dad was arrested at a KKK rally?
No, I never said I don't expect that from. I said I don't accept that from Trump.
Oh, accept it?
Yeah, I don't.
What do you mean accept it?
Like I don't really think that's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would have to agree with you that I think that he did wrong.
The point that I'm trying to get across, and I've said this and I'll say it again, Donald Trump is a white nationalist that has installed Nazis into our country, and he is implementing a plutocracy, literally selling us off to these technocrats. And you're worried about undocumented immigrants. Can you give me one tangible, like actual tangible benefit of mass deportation, like one fiscal tangible benefit of mass deportation?
I would say that when it comes to immigrants, I'd say that us as American citizens, we have a lot of issues when it comes to our education system. I do agree that immigrants do help us a lot when it comes to the amount of money they do, specifically spend here, and that goes directly to our.
Your sound is even more muffled now. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, can you hear me a little bit better here?
Yep.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that when it comes to immigration and a bunch of other things that are occurring, I would just say that the immigrants. I would just say that American citizens are my top priority.
Can you give me one actual tangible benefit of mass deportation? One quantifiable, tangible benefit that's outside of vibes?
Yeah, sure. We deport illegal citizens who commit crimes.
That's not a tangible benefit. A tangible benefit would be like, the average cost of living for Americans will decrease. The actual GDP of our country will increase. Like, that's a tangible benefit.
I would say that I would say that our birth rates would increase.
No, it wouldn't.
If we focus on American citizens.
No, it wouldn't. Literally, our birth rate is only holding up because of immigration. And even when you talk about American citizens, like, you can't force people to have kids if people can't afford to have kids. Like that, even with the overturning of Roe, fucking abortions has increased since they overturned Roe. Like, there's no way to force people to have kids. If you guys really wanted the actual birth rate to increase, then you would actually do things like enshrine paternal and maternal leave into federal law. You guys would actually create food subsidies and guaranteed programs for people to ensure that they have access to food. You would advocate for universal health care to make sure people had access to health care so they wouldn't be worried about whether or not they could or could not survive childbirth. Like, getting undocumented immigrants out of the country is not going to somehow make our birth rates increase, and it's not going to entice people to have kids. Like, the country's fucked, and people don't want to have kids because everybody's fucking broke.
Well, I would just say that's a problem when it comes to the individual's choices, when it comes to like the work that they do. I don't have that problem because, you know, I used to live with my mother and father. But the difference here is that what I'm looking at is that the majority of Americans are not educated at all. Most of them cannot read above a 6th grade level.
Education doesn't matter, not with this administration.
How come?
Because if education actually mattered, then we wouldn't see Black women, which is the most educated group in the United States of America, taking a massive hit to unemployment when the Trump administration got back in office. Black women specifically had over 400,000 Black women lose jobs because of Donald Trump and his policy. They literally attacked the most educated group within the country. But you know who didn't actually see a spike in their unemployment rate? Hell, they actually saw an increase in their employment rate. You know what group that was?
White men, women and men.
Not white women, white men. Only white men.
I wouldn't say that.
No. The numbers actually show it. That's the only group that has had an increase of their employment rate under the Trump administration. Every other group has had a hit and an increase to their unemployment rate.
That does not imply, because my father has his own business and he's an African American man. So I don't.
Like, your father having his own business does not negate the actual data from unemployment. Like, this is the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Your dad doesn't supersede the Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
Yeah, but you're saying that every single individual who is African American.
When did I say that?
You literally said that every single individual who are a Black woman, lost their job and their ability to make money.
Okay, stop for a second. Yeah, that's cool. Stop for a second. Don't say anything else. Give me one moment.
I don't have that problem because, I used to live with my mother and father. But the difference here is that what I'm looking at is that the majority of Americans are not educated at all. Most of them cannot read above a 6th grade level.
Education doesn't matter, not with this administration.
How come?
Because if education actually mattered, then we wouldn't see Black women, which is the most educated group in the United States of America, taking a massive hit to unemployment when the Trump administration got back in office. Black women specifically had over 400,000 Black women lose jobs because of Donald Trump and his policy. They literally attacked the most educated group within the country. But you know who didn't actually see a spike in their unemployment rate? Hell, they actually saw an increase in their employment rate. You know what group that was?
White men, women and men.
Not white women, white men. Only white men.
I wouldn't say that.
No. The numbers actually show it. That's the only group that has had an increase of their employment rate under the Trump administration. Every other group has had a hit and an increase to their unemployment rate.
That does.
Tell me why I said anything about all quote unquote African Americans.
I guess I was wrong. I that's what I heard.
Yeah.
But I would just say that, like, African Americans are doing, I would just say in general, I would agree with you that African Americans are not realistically doing well under this administration. I would just say that the administration in itself.
No one's doing well under this administration. Not even white men, technically.
Really?
Really?
I think I'm doing pretty fine.
Yeah, I don't care about what you think about yourself. I'm talking about whole groups.
Yeah. So what? I mean.
Hey, question for you. Has the cost of living outpace the wage growth in the U.S. under the Trump administration?
That's what it says here. So yeah.
Yeah. Has there been an increase in taxes for everyday Americans under the Trump administration?
Yeah.
Has there been an increase of unemployment as a whole under the Trump administration?
Yeah.
Has CPI increased under the Trump administration?
Yes.
Tell me where the good thing is.
There's nothing. That's good.
So then what are you talking about? Oh, you thought that I was talking about individuals and not the society. Is that what you're saying?
No, because I was actually listening to what you said. I know you were talking about the entirety of all Americans in America. So maybe I just have to do a little bit more information on this. I'm not gonna lie, I was completely wrong and delusional. I'm just gonna go look this up and specifically have this conversation later on.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly and you like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and link here in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. I got a couple of thank yous and I'm going to get to that in just a moment, but let's see if we can get another debate. I'm like, this person's going to load. That was in chat for Patricia for the $5 donation. I don't know if I just missed it, but I have missed the last few days of working out with you. Yeah, it's because I've been sick. I'm actually going to go get a workout today after I finish the live. But I haven't been able to go work out the last couple of mornings because I've been like sick. But we will be back at it for sure in the morning. And I like the fact that you guys are with me in the morning. We do that on the third account. That was in chat for Adam for the $1 donation. I need to hear some MAGAs getting deep fried while I work on this website for a tattoo shop. I knew to look no further. Dad joke for you. I used to hate facial hair. Then it grew on me. That was in the chat, Adam. Top tier dad joke. That was in the chat for John for the $20 donation saying, hey, Dr. Jones. Not Dr. Jones, but I appreciate it. Sorry, you're trying to provide entertainment, education, and fools want to ruin it. Maybe I can uplift your spirit with something you might not know. Did you know a grouping of rabbits is called a fluff? A fluff of rabbits. That's interesting. Now you do. I hope your day gets better. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, like I said, it's just, I don't understand people. And I think that's just my big issue. That was in the chat for Gene for the $10 donation. Gene said, dipset, dipset, dipset. It's been a minute, buddy. Hope you're good, Gene. Thank you so much. I am, and I appreciate the hell out of you. Duffy's in the chat for Ari for the $1 donation saying slap nuts. I know. Duffy's in the chat for Emily for the $5 donation saying tourist towns are freaking out about how bad it is. Yes, they are. Duffy's in the chat for Emily for the $5 donation saying if Americans travel so much, why is tourism down? It's because he didn't know shit. That was in the chat for, I'm just going to call you Al. That was in the chat for Al for the $20 donation. I've been educated listening to your lives. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the hell out of you. That was in the chat for Nikki for the $5 donation saying, have the best day. You truly work hard. I appreciate you, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Over on YouTube, that was in the chat for Foxy B for the $5 euro to say, I need some sleep. You're worthy. You're enough. Your love, peace, love, and happiness to all of you. That was in the chat for Foxy B. Thank you so much for that. Over on Twitch, looks like that was in the chat for Patty, who gifted a Twitch subscription. That was in the chat for Anonymous, who gifted 5 Twitch subscriptions. We had a hype train level 2. And then that was in the chat for DJ Promit, who gave out a subscription. That was in the chat for One Mighty Pen that sent out 5 Twitch subscriptions. That was in the chat for Patty, who sent out 1 more. That was in the chat for Manders, who said, how kind of him to admit he wasn't listening, right? That was in the chat for One Mighty Pen for sending out 2 Twitch subscriptions. That was in the chat for Manders for the 1 chair bit to say, glad you're doing well, selfish jerk. Think about others for once in your insufferable life. Yep. And that was in the chat for Manders, who sent another chair bit to say, I'm legitimately surprised he admitted he was wrong and delusional. Good on you for that, caller. Yep. Nope. That was in the chat. That was in the chat. Also, that was in the chat for Terry for Tara for the $10 donation saying, no fancy hat today, but Tana. Sorry, I had to do it. Love you. I love you too. Guys, if anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. It's the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Like Kay said, let's get the likes to 250,000 likes. Also, can we knock out the daily gift goal? It's the rosas, please, please, please. Do all the wonderful things, guys. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter, disagree with anything on the background. We only thank you so much, and loves. Only looking for some debates. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Hey there.
Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Nigga. Hey, I'm from California. I'm a nigger.
That's fine, but are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Hello? You still haven't answered the question. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background? You haven't left. You're still here. Okay, I guess as we wait for him to figure out how to answer the question, W's in chat for Whitney for the $5 donation saying, hey, it's been a while. I had to step away from politics because it's become so toxic with my job being federal. Oh, he ran. Oh, he did all of that and just to run. That's sad. That's such a sad existence. I actually feel sorry for him. It's become so toxic with my job being federal and I'm just keeping my head above water. I hope you your day gets better and just know that you're loved and appreciated. W, not fun. I know that's right. W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that $5 donation. W's in chat for Brianna for the $1 donation because you thanking donos immediately turns into thanking donos. Yo, it's a fast beat in my head. It makes me smile. Absolutely. W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that. And again, if anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Thank you for the shades. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything in the background?
I'm not a Trump supporter, but I do disagree with some prompts on the background.
Okay. Which one you disagree with the most? Start.
First I want to ask, what exactly do you mean by like foundational Black Americans being anti-Black?
Yeah. Not people that are actually just foundationally Black Americans, because I technically would fall into the category of FBA, ADOS, whatever you want to call it. I'm specifically speaking to, and you got a little bit of a like feedback. I don't know if it's because your volume's turned up high and it's like reverberating in your case or whatever. But if you got a case, could you take it out or either turn the volume down just a little bit?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I'm talking about the people who want to distance themselves from the Black diaspora, the ones that aren't interested in Black solidarity because they think that delineation will give them not only proximity to power, but it'll give them the ability to obtain reparations, which is not even on the table. And so when I talk about FBA, it's literally those people that want to other themselves from the premise of Blackness in order to achieve something that they will never get.
Oh, okay. My understanding was that FBA was basically African Americans or Black Americans drawing distinction between who we are as a people, between other groups or other minorities or
Right.
other, let's just say, you're saying why is that the goal?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to draw that distinction because
Why?
of our peculiar status in this country. I think being that America invented race-based slavery, those who were in America didn't invent race-based slavery?
Nope. The Portuguese invented race to justify chattel slavery. The transatlantic slave trade was perpetuated throughout the entire globe, and more slaves were actually shipped to South America areas like Brazil than they were sent to the Americas. And the premise of domestic slave trade, meaning slaves coming from South America up to North America that had been shipped from Africa, was very prevalent. So, like, no.
Right. Although the Portuguese may have came up with the denotations of race to basically justify their supremacist takes, it's not, I think it's a disservice to Black Americans.
No. The Portuguese came up with race to justify chattel slavery.
The Portuguese came up with race to justify their supremacist takes.
No, a Portuguese man by the name of Gomes Inês de Zerara, who's a chronicler for Prince Henry the Navigator, was actually commissioned by the Catholic Church to document the people that he deemed to be quote unquote Black, which they were of the lower hemisphere. They were hypersexual. They lacked intelligence. They needed to be civilized. And they then justified that by saying that they could civilize them through chattel slavery. So the Portuguese created race to justify chattel slavery, which then the transatlantic slave trade ensued, stealing Africans from Africa and pumping them throughout different parts of the world, including the Americas, including the Caribbeans, all over. And a large majority of those slaves were shipped to South America and then sold from South America to North America.
Okay, even if I take you at your highest ground that the Portuguese invented race-based slavery and America kind of being America and the ultra-capitalist country that it is, took race-based slavery and made it to this kind of system that we are all living in now. I think it's unique. System? The perpetuality of slavery and Jim Crow and the current prison industrial complex system that
I don't think you know history.
So are you saying that America or Black Americans' experience with slavery isn't unique and it's a whole different ball game to
I think chattel
race-based
slavery. I think chattel slavery is the entity that we're talking about. Now, if you want to talk about what happened after chattel slavery, that's different. But chattel slavery was not, quote unquote, unique to just Black Americans, because Africans were shipped all over. So no, chattel slavery, that wasn't the unique aspect. What was the unique aspect is what happened after chattel slavery ended and the United States of America stopped stealing Black people from Africa, and they created breeding farms within the U.S. And then they proceeded to have slavery, Reconstruction, reclamation, pig laws, slave codes, Jim Crow, segregation, moving towards the Civil Rights Act. Like, that's different. But if you're talking about just chattel slavery, then no.
No, I'm saying the difference in the regards of how, you know, white people treated the enslaved. As we
White
can see
people
it
treated
being,
the enslaved bad no matter where they were enslaved.
I'm saying we had it worse. Black Americans had it worse, especially Black women. I would think that's something that you agree with.
I'm not talking about the treatment of Black women. I'm not even talking about the treatment of Black people. I'm talking about, if you're going to say chattel slavery, then there was no difference from anywhere that it was shipped throughout the transatlantic slave trade. If you're talking about after the ending of chattel slavery, when the America started making Black people instead of stealing them, and then all the things that ensued, sure. But you need to be specific as what you're saying.
That's the missing element. I think that foundational Black Americans, at least through my understanding, is those lived experiences after chattel slavery. That
hey, did you know when they brought trigger warning? Let me give this preference: trigger warning.
And
trigger warning to every trigger warning, content warning for every single person in here. Give you guys a few seconds. Trigger warning, content warning. Trigger warning, content warning. Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know when? Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know when the Black people were being brought here in chattel slavery? Like, I'm sure you probably know about like the chains and planking and how Black people were stuffed into the hulls of the ship to get as many Black people over here as possible. You know that, right?
Correct. And so many Black people chose.
Did you know that they separated Black men and Black women
from the ships?
Did you know they separated Black men and Black women?
And Black kids with Black women, and separated the Black men from the rest of the group?
What did they call it where the Black women were?
Educate me.
The whore hole. Why did they call it the whore hole?
Because they view Black women innate being as whores.
Nope. Because they left Black women unchained, unlike Black men who were packed in and chained up so much to the point, stacking on top of each other, that they couldn't even breathe. And when they got to where they were going, a ton of Black men had died to having their genitalia ripped off by the chain. Black women's, they weren't chained up, because the people, the Europeans that were actually trafficking them, wanted to be able to access them to rape them. Right.
Violated them. And that's how they.
And not only did they do that to the extent of raping them, but they did that to the extent that when it came to the amount of Black men that were brought here in chattel slavery versus Black women, there is a larger representation of Europeans fathering Black people than the actual Black slaves that were brought here. They raped Black women so much, and so many Black men died, that the white people had an over-representation of those slaves in America. So when you talk about FBA, and the way that they want to quote unquote create delineation based off of, you know, the history of being Black, Like you and they call people tethers, and they say that, oh, you don't have a direct history because such and such and such, and your family was white. The overrepresentation of Black people have a history of European ancestry. That's stupid.
Well, that wasn't even a point I was arguing, but thank you for the information. But I'm not even on this kind of mountain or a dog in a fight about FBA Black. I just wanted your understanding, because it seems as if you kind of speak about people or foundational Black Americans as if they're doing a disservice, when I'm looking, or how I view it, as people who are wearing like the salon flags, who are trying to recapture.
What's the point of them
in the
achieving delineation?
Of what it means to be a Black American.
What's the point of them achieving delineation? What's the end goal? What's the thing that they want?
When you don't own your,
what do they want? What's the thing they want
to explain? They want to be able to explain Black Americans' culture.
No, they want reparations. They want reparations.
Okay, I don't know what they want.
That's okay. If you don't know what they want, then why the fuck are you up here speaking for them?
Because that's what I think. My understanding of foundational Black Americans.
It's on their fucking website. Have you looked at the website?
No, I'm saying
have you looked at the Foundational Black Americans website?
I haven't, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with
it specifically lays out what the intended purpose is, and the ultimate intended purpose of delineation is to ensure reparations for Black foundational Americans. That's literally the entire antithesis. Because they can't get reparations. They can't get reparations because, one, they have no organization structure. Two, they have no political power. And three, there's 44 Black Americans that would qualify as being FBA in the United States of America. 44 million. There's over 360 million Americans in the US. And even with 44 million, there's a portion of them that aren't even eligible to vote. Right? They're not even a voter age. And then there's also a portion like myself that would never fucking align with them because of how harmful they are to the Black diaspora. So when you talk about the amount, let's say I'm generous and say they have a voter base of about 30 million people. Tell me how a voter base of a 30 million people, which is not even guaranteed that they would vote, how are they going to actually influence any type of legislation that would create reparations for them if they have no structure, no leadership, they haven't met within any type of politics, and there's such a small proportion of the US population? How do you do that?
I think you start by trying, and even if you fail, at least
do you know how long FBA has been doing this?
No, okay, let me say this. Let me say this because I think this is muddying.
Do you know how long FBA has been doing this?
Look, it's muddying, I think, my perspective and what I'm trying to get
across.
It's a
yes or no question. Do you know how long FBA has been doing this? Okay, cool. But FBA has been doing this as far as like the quote unquote Black foundational Black Americans. They've been doing this since 2014. But prior to that, do you know what they were called?
What?
ADOS, which they had two founders. ADOS morphed into FBA. And since morphing into FBA, they have a span of about 18 to 20 year history. And in their 18 to 20 year history, they have no hierarchy, because even the people that started as ADOS no longer have an affiliation with FBA. Even fucking Tariq Nasheed, even Tariq Nasheed, who is profiting off of the name of Foundational Black Americans because he has copyrighted it, has openly and adamantly admitted, I'm not in charge, I'm not the leader, they can do whatever they want. And so there is no structure to actually do anything. And the one time someone did the thing that they want, the one time that someone said, hey, Black people deserve reparations, the actual Ghanaian president came to the United Nations and brought the ideology that chattel slavery was the most egregious genocide in the history of the world. You know what FBA was doing?
Go on.
Excuse me?
No, I don't.
Protesting the Ghanan president in front of the UN, saying that this person does not represent nor speak for us. Literally, their entire premise is we want reparations. And then when someone brings the idea of reparations to the United Nations, they go and protest him and say he doesn't represent us. You see how silly that shit is?
You know what? I'm not one of those people who are just gonna argue just to argue, and I agree, and I appreciate you putting me on game as a black man. Let me first say that. So this seething kind of, this kind of rage that I'm sensing, it's not warranted, because I'm genuinely appreciative of you putting me on. What I'm saying is kind of like the same critiques that Black Lives Matter face. It kind of sounds like you're echoing sentiments of, let's say, people who say all lives matter. It's this idea that, okay, Black Lives Matter, I might support that. I might support the idea of Black Lives Matter, not even the organization. But if I'm saying Black Lives Matter, that's not saying I support the corruption of, you know, whatever Black Lives Matter.
You know why I'm seething?
Or this.
You know why I'm seething? I'm not saying anything about all lives matter. I'm not. But you know what? You can take a Black American. You can take a Kenyan American. You can take an Ethiopian American. You can take, a Jamaican American, and you can line them all up. And you can put Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, fucking Billy Bob from down the street. You can put any of them in front of all of them and say, hey, what do you see? And you know what they're gonna say? Niggas. Each and every one of them, still nigga. And so I'm seething because the idea of delineation within Black society is fucking stupid, because the only way that we're gonna get what we want and get anywhere is through Black solidarity. It has nothing to do with saying we need to be individuals. You can carve out your own individuality within Blackness. You don't have to distance yourself from Blackness to do that, because you are still a nigga to everyone else. That's fucking insane.
And you're right. I agree, especially just our diaspora. And like we have fallen victim to a lot of white supremacy ideologies and this separation kind of antic. I do agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying I still think it's important to have some kind of, to explain our differences, because we are the culture, to be able to have some kind of group, even if FBA and the way and the means and mechanisms that they're going about it, to be able in the history books to be like, hey, we did create this. Our ancestors that came from this country under chattel slavery, we are responsible for this, not this group over here, but we individually, uniquely over here. And that's okay to have that identity. Same thing when you're talking about different identities as in LGBTQ rights or through the lens of a woman or whatever. There's no critique on Pride Month. I don't think there should be. There's not a critique on a member of our community taking ownership of our community.
Give me a second. Hey, Lisa, fuck you and come up and tell me about it. Sent you a request. Accept that request, Lisa.
Yes, y'all, I understand it is a
Josh, not talking.
Blend.
Stop. Lisa, accept that request. Yeah, that's what the fuck I thought. Go ahead.
I missed that. But I just think I don't know. Moving on though, because I think that's a much bigger kind of conversation. But my biggest critique and kind of why I jump in the comments, because I kind of sense a lot of hypocrisy, because I'm also progressive, but a lot of hypocrisy on this capitalism point. If you are anti-capitalist, my question is, why do you sit on the lives and take support or kind of support an ultra-capitalist, someone like Dean and Parker, who admittedly says, and the same people who participate in this white supremacy complex.
Go talk to Dean and Parker about that. Go talk to Dean and Parker about Dean and Parker. This is I'm literally Santana. This is Sparring with Santana. If you got questions for Dean and Parker, go fucking talk to Dean and Parker.
No, it's not questions. It's questions for you as someone who criticizes the establishment of white privilege and supremacy, calling it on the same coin, but you also are perpetuating the same system of capitalism that you are. How
am I perpetuating capitalism by living in a capitalistic society? You see how fucking stupid that sounds?
It's not you just living in a society. It's who you choose to be around, and it's also just your mechanism of support. This idea that, okay, I'm gonna take in all the donations as I can. There's no goal. There's not a set number I'm looking to hit. I really want to take in as much as I can, be around as many.
Why do I need to justify how I actually generate revenue at all to you?
It's not you justifying, it's explaining how, or it's just a genuine
explaining why I should be compensated for my labor. That's what you're saying. I need to explain why I should be. How long? You and I have been sitting. Hold on 1 second. You and I have been sitting up here talking, right? You and I have been sitting up here talking for, let's see, 21 minutes. 21 minutes. Mm-hmm. And in a span of 21 minutes, I have literally taught you. I've literally taught you for fucking free, bro. And you're saying that I should be explaining why I should be compensated for my labor? Because I'm anti-capitalism?
Wouldn't you do this without tips? Wouldn't you want to educate people, especially your people? The point of
this is a debate, not to educate. I literally am trying to debate, and the only fucking reason I've been educating you is because you're black. Anyone else, I would tell them to go fucking look it up. I would tell them, give me a source.
Right, we can go through the sources. Damn, I'm just saying and I'll leave it there because I did just want a question of how do you not support white supremacy, but you sit around white supremacists. And I think that's a problem with the left, and I think that's a problem.
I don't give a fuck about what you think about it. Problem, like dead ass serious. When I tell you, I don't give a fuck about what you think about me. I truly mean this. I don't give a fuck. Josh, guess what? Spoiler alert. I don't give a fuck because you don't actually get to critique me for who I choose to be friends with. If you got a problem with Parker and Dean, if you have a problem, shut the fuck up. If you have a problem with Parker and Dean, go talk to Parker and Dean. The same shit that I say here, I say in their space. The same shit that I critique here, I critique in their space. The same shit that I say online, I say offline to them. So don't come in here telling me Josh, shut the fuck up. You don't get to tell me what I do or don't do. If you got a problem with my friends, go talk to my friends about it. If you got a problem with me, then talk to me about me.
You talk to your white supremacist fan and put him in check. Bye.
Yeah, of course, run, you fucking coward. Exactly. Now, look, he can't run because I sent him a request to turn on his camera. Now he's trying to fucking leave. You're such a fucking coward. Don't worry. I'll block you. I got you. Fuck out of here. Doesn't even know how to leave. He thought he had a fucking mic drop. Thanks for the heart hands. think this person's going to load. W's in the chat for Lamar for the $20 donation, saying, caller, anyone else, caller, how else would you be in a space to fucking learn? Here's the cost for donut education. Also, FBA are fucking, yes, they are. And I got my tinfoil hat for them. W's in the chat for Lamar. Thank you so much for that $20 donation. You're amazing. W's in the chat for Tess for the $9.99 super chat to say, wish it was October. Tired of this heat, but ready for midterms to be closer. And National Pizza Month. I know it's really tough. Pizza Month is every month. Pizza Day is every day. I'm going to be honest. W's in the chat for the donuts, guys. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and Linktree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. It's the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Yes, I do.
Trump supporter or disagree?
I disagree, and I feel like the last guest really cooked you, and you took no accountability for anything he said.
Oh, are you that fucking weird Pikachu person that I kept kicking? Fuck off. Fucking dweeb. The way people obsess, they're so fucking weird. They obsess so much. Like the need and desire for attention, it's so fucking crazy. Like, I don't know what we're doing. Like the way that they need fucking attention. But just said goes on their space and talk the same. Go in their space and fuck you, Craig. How about that? How about that one? You guys are fucking pathetic. Like, seriously. I won't debate you because you have no substance. You're a fucking rage bait troll, and you came in here on your other account, you weirdo. No means no. Holy shit. Learn consent. Woke whoever, someone, like I see my mods are sending you a request how to partner. Accept that request. I'm legitimately tired of piece of shit people. Legitimately tired of people, piece of shit people. Like, fuck. How are you, Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background? Chan, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? How are you, Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Yes, I'm 22. I'm trans. I voted for Trump both times.
Okay. Like I didn't ask any of that. I said, all right, so you're a Trump supporter?
Why do you not want to know my age? I wanted to make sure
I don't give a fuck about your age. If I want to know your age, I would have said, what's your age? I said, are you a Trump supporter?
What if I was a minor?
Bro, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Don't call me bro. I am a ma'am. Please don't.
Bro is not a...
I'm a trans woman, so very disgusting.
Fuck out of here. Bro is non-binary, you fucking donut. Get out of my request. That was in the chat from Miss Bellasella. Thank you so much for the $20 donation, Miss Bellasella. Sorry, people don't respect others. And no, you have to have a decent conversation. For the pizza, fun with love. I appreciate the hell out of you. I'm definitely getting pizza today. No bullshit. I am absolutely getting pizza today. Fuck that. I am absolutely having pizza today. I am absolutely having pizza today. That was in chat for Adam for the $20 donation. Some tough ones today. Please take care of your mental health. I don't understand why people don't care about other people. That shit's so weird. How are you, Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Disagree.
Okay. Which point on the background do you disagree with the most? Where you'd like to start?
I was just thinking, you said white people can't be racist, correct?
No, I've never said white people can't be racist.
No?
No, I've never said white people can't be racist.
All right, then never mind. See ya.
It literally says on the background, white privilege and white supremacy. Why the fuck would I say white people can't be racist if it talks about white privilege and white supremacy? Only request up if you're a Trump supporter, disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter, disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly and you like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and links here in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Look up at the top. Guys, if you see the word follow, it means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. We're on our way to 200,000 followers. So please hit that follow button. Hit that follow button, turn on notifications. How are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Yo, what's up, bro?
How are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter.
Are you an American citizen?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you actually disagree with something, or do you want to tell me how you still support Donald Trump today, July 2nd, 2026?
I mean, what's wrong with him, innit?
What state do you live in?
Ohio.
What's the quarterback of the NFL team for Cincinnati?
Well, let's be honest. Who the fuck knows that?
Everyone. Listen,
No
all
one.
you had to do was say that you're not an American citizen, but you were a Trump supporter, and I would have still talked to you. But since you lied to me, I have no reason to talk to you because you're not going to be honest about anything. All you had to do was be honest.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Back.
Hello, sir.
Yes, is there?
I meant
back?
Yeah, I meant you think black people can't be racist. Sorry.
Yeah, black people can't.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask a question. So, if there's a black parent with a black child, right, and they say they can't date someone due to the fact that they're white, is that prejudice then?
No.
It's just, what is it?
Being a dick.
But what if it's solely because they're white? It's just being a dick?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's the only question I had.
Would you like to know why?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What's the definition of prejudice?
I don't know.
I got you. This comes from Merriam-Webster. This is a two-part explanation of the definition. An irrational attitude of hostility directed against an individual, a group, a race, or their supposed characteristics, an adverse opinion or leaning formed without any grounds or before sufficient knowledge. Do Black people have grounds and sufficient knowledge of the history of what white people have done in our country and throughout the world when it comes to Black bodies?
Do they have grounds? No.
You're saying Black people don't know the history of what white people have done to Black people?
Oh, no, they do.
Okay. So if they know the history and they know up until 1965 is where I'll say, like, even though Black people have been in this country since prior to the forming of the United States of America, but we weren't looked at as whole citizens until 1965. Does that give an actual record of like being less than human throughout the history of the country?
Definitely. Yep.
There's also generational trauma, like literal, like trauma is coded into Black people's DNA from what's happened throughout the history of our country.
So they just don't have the ability to be racist.
Not towards white people.
So, but racism and prejudice are different?
Yes.
Can you explain what's different with racism?
No.
No?
Mm-mm. I mean, I can, but I'm just not for free.
All good. All right. Well, so then it's just being a dick that answers my question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have a good day.
You as well. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Debbie's in the chat for Rachel. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Rachel, she said therapy fun. These callers have been terrible today. Love you. Yeah, you know what? I think that's what happened. So I missed my appointment yesterday with my therapist. And I think that's part of it, right? So I didn't get to talk to my therapist yesterday. So I have to reschedule for this weekend. And, I think that's also attributing to where I am. So I think that, yeah. That was in the chat for Darrell. Thank you so much, Darrell, for the $25 donation. Saying happy 4th, Santana. Thank you for entertaining, cooking these MAGAs all week. Yep, we're grilling them up, Darnell. You know it. That was in the chat for Jared. What up, Jared, for the $5 donation? Enjoy some pizza on me. Go all out. Love you, Santana, and you're deeply appreciated for everything you do. Jared, I love you more. I appreciate you, brother, to the moon and back, and I will definitely be using it. I'm getting stuffed crust. Deb's in the chat for Juan for the $4.20 donation. Cheese, pepperoni, or meat lovers? Meat lovers. I want all the meat. No pause. Santana, please take care of your mental health. If you need a break, I love you. Yeah, I love you too. And I do. Hi, are you Trump supporter or disagree with anything in the background? Hi, are you Trump supporter or disagree with anything in the background? Okay, I think that was an accident. Guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Deb's in the chat for Kayla. Kayla, I'm going to use bro whenever I want to use bro. Thank you for the 10. W's in the chat for Robert for the $10 donation. Did you know that more people died in the hands of ICE than were killed by undocumented immigrants? I think we should be deporting ICE. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fucking W's in the chat for the $10 donation. Thank you so much, Robert. W's in the chat for Megan for the $2 donation saying, fun fact, did you know that a baby porcupine is known as a porcupit? A porcupit? Is that how you say it? A porcupit? Thank you. That is actually cute. W's in the chat for Kelly for the $5 donate. Kel Bell. W's in the chat for Kel Bell. Thank you so much for that. W's in the chat for Kala for the $5 super chat to say, can we bring back the Book It program? We need people to read. Or no, you guys should just join Ari's Discord. 1.6 thousand people here. If you are over the age of 21 and you are not a Nazi, you should be in Ari's Discord, which actually allows you to be able to join the reading program that she has. It's like a whole thing. It's Ari for Education. She has an amazing reading Discord. I've been getting she's the one that crafted both of my reading lists. She published one of the reading lists that I have in the Discord. So hit her link and get in the Discord. Ari for Education. W's in the chat for Smoothie for the $1.99. So I hope you're feeling okay. Santana hugs and thank you. I'm good. I'm just disappointed in people as a whole. Like that's, if I'm going to be honest, like that's the serious problem. It's not even about me. Like literally, I swear it's not even about me. It's how gross people are to other people. Like, I don't get it. I don't get, why are you fighting so fucking hard to be horrible to marginalized communities? Why are you fighting to harm marginalized communities? Why are you punching down? What the fuck is the point of punching down? That's my whole thing. That's literally my whole thing. First guy that we had, fucking black guy, which boils me even more because as a black man, hearing another black man say this shit blew my mind. Sitting here vilifying transgender people in the queer community. And then saying, oh, they're taken away from black people. Bro, how the fuck is another marginalized community taken away from a marginalized community? That's fucking stupid. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. Only looking for some debates. We're only looking for some debates. FYI, I just want to say this to the chat, guys. If anyone's worried that I'm depressed, you don't have to be worried about that. I'm literally not depressed. It's not an issue with being depressed. I'm enraged. Like, that's the problem. I'm literally just sick of people being pieces of shit. That's it. That's it. I'm not depressed. I'm not sad. I'm angry. So the point that I was trying to make is don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm good. W's in the chat for Caleb. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat to say, could you catch a fade with Steven? I fucking could. Let me tell you about, okay, so I was going to talk about this, right? W's in the chat, he said, could you catch a fade with Stephen A? He started to, wait. If so, here's the starting of fun to make it happen. I would love to run a fade with Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith, right, went on national television or podcast or whatever the fuck, and yesterday said specifically, talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, for any of those who don't follow sports balls, as like, you know, some of my friends, Stephen A. Smith went on his platform, his national platform, and immediately went after the LA Lakers, basically saying they got 3 white guys as their 3 top players. And since they had 3 white guys as their top players, there's no way they could win. Right? Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Rashida, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? So while going after the LA Lakers for having Luka Doncic, for having Austin Reeves, and then signing Walker Kessler, he talks shit about them not being able to win because they're led by 3 white guys, right? And the thing about that statement, and I heard fucking Emmanuel Acho say this, and I was like, I fucking hate for someone to make me agree with Emmanuel Acho. But for Stephen A. Smith to say that shit literally rings true to how they used to talk about black quarterbacks. Well, black men aren't smart enough to play quarterback. Black men have to play wide receiver. You sitting here saying that, well, they can't win because they're white. Those are 3 of the best players in the NBA, regardless of their race. What the fuck are we doing? You're literally parroting the same type of shit that they weaponize against black people. Why would you do that? You're literally parroting the shit that they did against black people. You're allowing them to be able to come back around and do the same shit. So if we're going to call them out for being racist, then we can't actually perpetuate the same type of bullshit that they were perpetuating. There's nothing behind that says that these 3 white guys can't win, because all 3 of them are fucking ballers. That has nothing to do with the NBA. I don't know. Stephen A. Smith has been fucking shucking and jiving. I didn't say that was racist or prejudice. FYI, never said that was racist nor prejudice, but it is absolutely perpetuating the bullshit that based off of the race, they can't compete. Just like they perpetuated based on the race, they're not smart enough to be quarterbacks. Based on the race, they're not fit to be anything else except this position. That's the point. That's why I didn't say that it was racist. I didn't say it was prejudice. I said they're perpetuating the same bullshit. Okay, then Destiny, come up here and fucking debate me on it then, bro. I don't give a fuck about what you're saying in the comment section. Like, boom, I sent you a request. I don't give a fuck about your comments in the comment section. Come debate me. After I literally just fucking told another white guy that black people can't be racist nor prejudiced towards white people, you're going to turn around and say, oh, you're making it sound like it's racist or prejudice. What the fuck are we doing here? I literally just told a white man that black people can't be racist nor prejudiced towards white people. You're not going to accept that request? You had a whole of a hell lot to say in the comment section before I sent that request. Send it again. Yeah. That was in the chat for Fruit Punch for the $5 super chat to say, think about it this way. They troll because that's all they can do. Take a break if you yeah, no, I'm not worried about the trolls. Like, seriously. But I appreciate you. That was in chat for 1B Carry for the $5 super chat to say, what did the duck say when she bought a lipstick? Wait, what did she say when she brought a lipstick? Bought, sorry. Just put it on my bill. I don't like dad jokes. I don't like dad jokes. W's in the chat for Paula for the $20 donation. Say, love listening and learning as often as I can. Hate seeing you down. I'm like, seriously, I appreciate. Thank you so much for the 20. And I promise you, it's not about taking a break. It's not about being down. People just fucking suck. People like legitimately just suck. Like, why don't people care about people? Like, that's just the part that I'm confused of. Like, why is it acceptable to be horrible people towards other people? Hi, are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background?
Yo, what's good, big buck?
Are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background? Hi, are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background?
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background?
Well, I disagree, but do I have to be like an American citizen?
Are you not an American citizen?
No.
Okay, what are you trying to talk about? No, wait, are you a non-American that supports Trump, or did you want to talk about something on the background?
I want to talk about something. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you using AAVE?
AAVE? What's that? What's that?
I know, Kay. W's in the chat for Lysandra for the $5 donation saying, thank you for being a determined teacher. I wouldn't call myself a teacher. Solid's a teacher. I am just somebody yip-yapping, honestly. W's in chat for Jason for the $5 donation saying, Cape Cod Mass is so racist. Wait, Cape Cod Mass? Oh, does COD stand for Call of Duty? Or no, Cape Cod Mass is so racist. I'm lighter skinned, Cape Verdean, and I get called Mexican every day at work. Jason, come talk to me about it. I would actually love to hear your story if you're around. Oh, Mass. Oh, got it. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. I can believe that. Debbie's in the chat for Trudy for the $25 donation for the pizza fund. Trudy, thank you so much for the 25. Thank you. Debbie's in the chat for Holly for the $10 donation saying, my social anxiety won't let me join, but I've really enjoyed late nights as a member of marginalized communities, the queer community, disabled, as well as a recovering addict. Thank you so much. No, thank you. I'm glad that we've been able to have these these conversations. This has been like super important. And it's been one of my favorite late nights. Absolutely. Deb's in the chat for Brookie. Hey, Brookie. Yeah, Brookie, send me an email. It's in my link tree. Send me an email and I'll send it to you. Deb's in the chat for Brookie. Thank you for the one. Deb's in the chat for Brittany said 15, 30, 37, 38, 45, 47. 45. You got me. Okay. You got me. There's the one. There's the one. You fucking got me. That was the one. God damn it. W's in the chat. That one got me. I love you too. That one got me. Doo-doo. Oh, holy shit. Yeah. That's awesome. Was it Swells? Are you confused? You're confused? Don't worry, it's a black thing. If you guys are confused, don't worry, it's a black thing. Oh man. Okay, that was good. That was good. W's in the chat for Bree. God damn it, Bree. Hi, are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with anything on the background?
Yo, what's AAVE? You nigger.
And he ran. That's like the most interesting thing. The interesting thing is I didn't kick him. He just ran. I legitimately don't understand what they think that does. Oh, well. 45, 47. Do. Dibs in the chat for Mia for the $5 donation said, it's so weird to see people are like, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. It's just gross. Discuss it along with you. Enjoy the pizza. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the pizza. But yeah, like, I don't know. I just maybe it's the fact that like I don't feel comfortable being in a situation knowing that other people are literally being targeted. And even more than that, I like it just chaps my ass, especially because I guess it's because like I'm so pro-black. Like I fucking love black people. I love being black. I love black people. I want to see black people do so well. Right? But then at the same time, when I see black people actually like literally perpetuating the harm that like we're affected like that. That's why I was just calling shit out about Stephen A. Smith. It's not that I was saying that he was racist or being prejudiced or any shit like that. Like, but when people repeat the same type of shit that is literally used on us, like it fucking blows my mind. When black people use the shit that's like you're literally using tools of white supremacy, what the fuck are we doing? So that's the one that gets me. I don't know. W's in the chat for Jared for the one. Oh, I forgot to ask if you like pumpkin. If you like the pumpkin seeds, I was worried about that. I keep getting an email. I'm going to go pick the stuff up today. I have to because now they're talking about if I don't come pick the stuff up, then they're gonna start fighting me. You mean like the race car? Hey, no one. Hey, Bub. It looks like you got muted. City of Troy. Fucking coward. You guys are so brave in the comments. Guess who don't get to yip yap anymore? Guess who doesn't get to cry anymore? That was in the chat for Tanya for the $4.99 super chat. Say Jerry West, who is literally the NBA logo, is white. Yeah, but it should be Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe should be the logo. Kobe should be the logo. Say what I said. W's in chat for Tess for the $9.99 super chat to say, let's do something good. I'm gonna say something nice. Fuck out of here. I'm gonna say something nice about Trump. One of the top on my hate list. Ready? He'll make good fertilizer soup when he ages. Still won't eat that fruit off the tree. Nah, like no lie. Fucking W's, Tess. Fucking W's. Hi, are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with something on the background?
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter.
Are you the same guy on a different account that I said don't lie, and you could have just told me that you weren't a U.S. citizen?
This is my first time joining your live. I've never seen you before.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am a U.S. citizen.
What state do you live in?
Hawaii, Honolulu.
What time is it?
9 a.m.
Specifically, what time is it?
9:48.
Which island?
Sorry?
Oh, you said Honolulu. I apologize. Okay, what's up?
You're good.
What you want to talk about?
Anything, to be honest. I just don't support leftists.
Oh, I don't care. But what did you want to talk about? Yeah, guys, it's 9:48 in Hawaii currently because it's 12:48 here on the West Coast. Hawaii's 3 hours behind us.
Yeah, so I'll tell you one thing. I don't support the LGBTQ community being.
I don't care.
Yeah, well, leftists too. So
I don't care. Why do you keep talking about leftists? You said you support Trump. Like while you say you support Trump, you keep talking about like leftists and other communities. You yet told me why you actually support Trump outside of like you hate other people. You don't think that's weird? Like, why do you support Trump? Like, yeah, if you actually support Trump, you should be able to tell me why you support him, not why you hate other people. I don't give a fuck about why you care, why you hate other people.
Because he's the GOAT. I love Trump.
How is he the GOAT, bro? Like, why? Be specific.
Laws.
What are we doing?
Immigration laws. Immigration laws.
What immigration laws?
The deportation of illegal aliens.
He's deporting less than his predecessors, and he hasn't passed any laws. You're not good at this, and also you're not good at faking that you're an American citizen. What do you actually want to talk about? Like, serious question. Did you come up here because you actually wanted to debate? Were you trying to troll? Like, what are we doing?
How am I trolling?
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying was that your goal? Like, serious question. Like, what are we doing? I'm just trying to figure out what we're actually doing.
I'm saying I want to debate you, and
yeah, but you're not actually debating. You're just saying random shit. Like, lock in then.
Okay, I'm not, but okay.
You're not what?
I'm literally locked in. I'm literally saying serious stuff, and you're just saying like I'm not right just because you don't agree with it.
When did I say you're not right because I don't agree with it? What are you talking about?
Oh my God, are you actually trolling?
No, I'm dead ass serious right now.
It looks like you're actually trying to troll me. Like, I'm so dead ass. I just said it. One thing about Trump, which I like, is immigration laws.
You said that he was the GOAT. I said, what do you mean? You said his immigration policy. I said, be specific. You said him deporting. I said he's deporting at a lower rate than his predecessors, and he hasn't actually put in any type of legislation. And then you just kind of stammered around, like you kind of waddled around in a circle and then just fell down and threw up on yourself or some shit. Like, lock in. That's why I said lock in. If you really want to debate, then actually lay out an argument.
Oh, okay. All right. Give me a second. Let me find this for you. Let me go to my.
W's in the chat for Johnson Tittles for the $5 donation. Said, I was enraged listening to the first caller dehumanize trans people when Black people have had to fight for centuries to be considered human. Right. Johnson Tittle, when I tell you that is the shit for me, bro. Like literally, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm literally saying that shit. Holy fuck, thank you. No, thank you. Like literally, that's what I was saying. W's in the chat for Johnson Tittles. This motherfucker in a request with a Clarence Thomas profile picture. Ain't no fucking way you coming up here. W's in the chat for Devin for the $5 donation saying, on a 10-minute break, I owe you an apology about the Corn Wesley story. I don't know how to come up on YouTube. Sorry for taking my anger out on you. I don't know who Cohen Wesley is. I don't remember, but it's all good. We're square. Don't even worry about it. Seriously. Seriously, just let it go. We're good. Thank you so much for the 5. W's in the chat for Rachel for the $20 donation. I've been depressed and enraged since 2016. Guess why? I had my first therapy session on the 9th. I hope it helps. I'm running on fumes at this point. Listen, it will. I absolutely stand therapy for everyone. Everyone. W's in the chat. W's in the chat for, oh, I remember. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah. No. You're good. Actually, I would love to talk to you. Devin, I remember now. Devin, I would love to talk to you because, I had a couple of conversations about that. Like, I would love to talk to you. Absolutely. Fucking W's in the chat. W's in the chat. W's in chat for Justin Tittle for the 2. It said, first, Jerry West was cold AF, but put some respect on the man's name. Second, check out the book Without Sanctuary. It pictures heavy. It pictures heavy, so you can't. It's got a lot of pictures, so you can't audio book it. Every page needs a trigger warning. Holy shit! I don't know if I could deal with that. W's in chat for Gar for the $9.99 super chat to say Black people grew up in the same Call of Duty lobbies. Y'all never say it without a screen in between us. You never heard Ed. Wait, I've never heard Ed. I don't know what you mean by Ed. That word in person. Yeah, no, like I've only had it a few times, and they've never actually been brave enough to do it within arm's reach. W's in the chat for W's in chat for Manders for the 1 cheer bit. I think it's funny how they he thinks it's funny how they attack Black women. Yeah, no, he did. W's in chat for Manders for the 1 cheer bit. They say block Josh from their spaces too. I don't know. Oh yeah, he was a fucking weirdo. W's in the chat for Manders for the 1 chair bit to say, let's do a gaming stream, have some fun. Maybe. W's in chat for Manders for the 1 chair bit to say, we've known we all have known you want to meet. I'm not saying that, Manders. Stop it. W's in chat for Manders for the 1 chair bit to say, you handle your anger so well. Fantastic work, sir. Thank you. I don't think so, but I appreciate it. And W's in chat for Amanda for the 1 chair bit to say, worry not, Santana. We're going to get from off on this fascist capitalistic bullshit, and they'll beg for mercy, and we'll say fuck them because they've only ever gotten mercy and then shit on people again. They do. That's weird. W's in chat for call for the $5 super chat to say, can we sue the Trump administration and him personally for our therapy bill? No bullshit. We might need to start a class action lawsuit for our therapy, for our collective therapy. No, like we might actually need to do that. W's in chat for Angie for the $2 donation saying, my therapist says people, MAGA, are like a bowl of fruit. When one goes bad, they all go bad. Facts. W's in the chat for Angie. Hi, 777. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything in the background?
I voted for Trump. I don't currently support him, but I do disagree with, and it may be the wording, but I do disagree with your capitalism, failure, time for socialism.
Give me 1 second.
I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
1 second. Any of my commie friends want to come and debate this one? Like any of you guys want to debate this one? The way that both of y'all hit the request at the fucking same time, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no fucking way both of y'all hit the request at the same time. Yeah, y'all got it. Go ahead, Sean. You were in first.
What's the agreement?
What was that?
What's the disagreement?
So the disagreement is capitalism is a failure and that it's time for socialism. The way that it's worded, and we can get into the nitty gritty, but capitalism on its own isn't a failure. And socialism on its own does not work without capitalism. And I'll just throw this out there too, real quick, so you have a little bit more information. Because like I said, I did vote for Trump, but I feel like Trump's campaign was more of a socialist campaign, anyways. Right?
Yeah, because you don't know anything about socialism. But I just need the evidence of success of capitalism.
Well, I mean, I think we can look at the increase in moving people out of poverty. I think we could also look at China and say they had to implement a capitalistic structure after
I'm gonna go ahead and stop you here. You don't know anything about China. Just stick to capitalism.
Was it not true that they had to utilize it in order to grow their economy?
Correct. It is not true. So please just stop talking about countries and talk about the system. Trust me, this is the worst route that you will go if you start talking about countries. I just need the evidence of success of capitalism.
The evidence of success of capitalism. Well, I would say primarily invention, productivity, mass production, and lifting the average man out of horrible living conditions, essentially. And it sparks the innovation. It sparks the incentive to pursue invention, to pursue those sorts of things. So, and we see that today based on how we use, our ancestors used to live and how they used to deal with things, to the comfortability of the inventions and creations and things that we have today. I don't think without the incentive structure, you would really get that. Because again, as Santana has proved today, people don't give a fuck about people.
Okay, so I don't really understand how this addresses what it was that I said, but I'm going to attempt to steelman it. When you said the inventions, we have evidence ample that capitalism stifles innovation. When capitalism has things like monopsonies that weed out companies to push them out of the way, or patent freezes that allow for big companies or big entities to buy out patents to stop the innovation of a product that people need in order to continue to sell things that people don't need. For instance, like the lumber industry doing a patent freeze and legislation against marijuana in order to snuff out the hemp industry, to keep hemp from keeping lumber, outpacing lumber, is exactly like the kind of innovation that you would be talking about, but it's the opposite that we see under capitalism. So I'm going to need to see like examples or any evidence of innovation under capitalism.
Yeah, so let's talk about. Okay, so you're talking about two different things. I'm more or less at the beginning. I'm more or less at the beginning of capitalism. You're sort of talking about maybe more towards the middle or late stage where we are, where I believe we are now.
I'm talking about capitalism, period.
But let's go back to your hemp example, right?
Sure.
Also, guys, make sure we're saying like M drug or anything like that.
Yeah.
Even if we get like a restricted push, I think we're fine. But M drug.
For sure. So the hemp example is a great example with the paper company and all of that good stuff. But I think because it was obviously a very lost innovation for sure. I agree with you there. However, I think the basis around that the reason why it got through was because of propaganda, right? So it wasn't just legislation. The people had to be changed first, right? And that's why they made the movies with what was it called? I forget the movie's name, but it was a scare tactic used to discredit hemp, to discredit M. You know what I'm talking about? And then people shifted and went along with the legislation, right? So capitalism on its own did it? No, maybe the incentive was there, yes, but in that story, the people were propagandized into pushing for that. Again, because of the movies and all of the propaganda that was put out about it. So you can't really lay it solely at the feet of capitalism.
This is literally at the feet of capitalism. The privatized ownership of the means of production for the reason of profit is the incentive that stopped the that stopped the hemp company from being able to push forward because the lumber company was afraid of losing the means of production. So pretending as if it's not capitalism is just code. Yeah, it's 100%.
That's not true because it was led.
It is 100% true.
Are you telling me that the public wasn't propagandized into going away from that product?
Who propagandized the public?
The owner of the paper company. I forget his name.
Exactly this. So the lumber industry
Herbert Mills or so. I can't remember.
Right, exactly. So the lumber industry did this. So a capitalist did this in order to keep his capitalistic gains.
But what
and you're telling me that it's not an issue of capitalism.
But what did he do to do that?
He snuffed out a business. He snuffed out a business. He snuffed out a business and stifled innovation.
How? I'm asking you how he did that.
We've already agreed on how. We've already talked about how.
But I want to hear you say it.
He pushed forward propaganda to snuff out an industry.
Correct.
And that is capitalism.
That is the incentive structure of capitalism. Yes, I agree with you.
That is capitalism, period.
But the means and use, right, and there which he attained his goal was human propaganda. It was an uneducated.
So we don't know what capitalism is. Okay, excellent. So let's just do this.
Hold on.
Let's just do this. Let's just do this.
Because the accusations,
I
didn't accuse you of anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I did not.
You can't accuse me of anything.
Okay, well, let's just leave that aside, right? Because you didn't ask me what capitalism is. You didn't, so just to assume that I don't.
I did.
When we just agreed upon the same story. Hold on, we agreed upon the same story, right? We disagree maybe in the perspective of that story, which is fine.
No, we don't disagree. You're wrong. That's all that is. You're just wrong. That's all that is. It's not something that's like up for debate. This is a capitalistic structure. Within capitalism, it posits infinite growth. Without infinite growth, which means infinite profit, without infinite growth, then a company goes belly up. When you have another company that is revolutionizing the industry and can put you out of business, you do everything that you can in order to snuff out that industry. And that's exactly what the capitalist in this situation did. And you're telling me that capitalist practice wasn't capitalism, which is nuts.
I didn't say it wasn't capitalism.
Yeah, you did say
that. I said that was the incentive structure of capitalism. Yes, I agree with you.
You said that the process of snuffing out another business was not capitalism.
I did not say that. I said that was the incentive structure. Literally, Santana, I said that was the incentive structure of capitalism.
You said
don't plead to me. You gotta talk to Sean. Don't bring me into this.
I said the means in which they did it.
That's the method.
Was the method, right? Was propaganda. So the reason why I'm asking
was capitalism.
Okay, well, listen. Like I said, I agree with you that that's the incentive structure. We're talking about the means.
You just don't know what capitalism is.
Just hold on. Let me get to my point, brother. We can focus on, because listen, we're not going to change the incentive structure of capitalism. That's just built inherently into the structure, right? We agree. But the means in which they achieve that incentive structure, right, in this case was propaganda. In most cases, it's propaganda. So here's my question to you, right? Is capitalism the problem, or is restriction and governance of capitalism the problem?
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm going to hop in here. Triple, I didn't hear what you said, but I see them spamming in the chat. Sean is a she. FYI.
Oh, wait, who's Sean?
The person that you're talking, yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. My bad.
Yeah. Listen, the problem is capitalism. The method that they used was capitalism. We are talking about the stifling of innovation within capitalism.
Say that one more time for me. I'm sorry.
The answer to your question is capitalism.
Wait. My question was, we know that the incentive structure built into capitalism is going to push for essentially a monopoly, right? That is just incentive driven. It is built in, baked in, right? But if we separate that from the means and the means in which they achieve that incentive, right? We agreed that in this case it was propaganda. So my question,
it's a capitalistic incentive.
But okay, let's separate. I've already agreed with that. We're trying to separate out the means. We're separating. No. We're separating out the means from the incentive. Those are two different things. Because I can have an incentive to do anything, but how do I get there? And we're talking about
the means
that.
was a capitalistic means.
No.
Yes. You just don't know what capitalism is. I don't know why. Like, what books have you read on capitalism?
I mean, I lived. I mean, I can read books on capitalism.
That means
it's fine,
absolutely nothing. There's people
we also have 42
and don't know anything about the law. Like you wouldn't believe how many people I've had tell me that they agree with the immigration practices and policies of Donald Trump, and I asked them to read me one immigration policy that they agree with Donald Trump, and they don't even know where to find it. So they cannot relay it. So like saying that you live in a system means absolutely nothing.
To be fair, my mom lives in the United States in a capitalistic structure, and she didn't even know what capitalism is. So that does nothing.
She doesn't know, or you said she doesn't know?
Yeah, she doesn't know. I had to educate her. So like living in a structure doesn't mean you know anything about it.
I mean, that's fair. But it's still, I would really, really rather we deal with the question, right? And the question I'm posing is, if we can just look at the means in which they used to get swallow up this paper company or this hemp company was through a large scale propaganda mission. Now, I'm not disagreeing that wasn't capitalistic incentive, but what I'm saying is
it was capitalistic practice.
Is the capitalist is the capitalism the problem, or is the restriction and governance of the means in which they pursue this incentive the problem?
This question has been asked and answered. I already said it's capitalism. All of these are capitalistic means and capitalistic incentives.
Wait. That really doesn't answer. That really doesn't answer my question.
You keep trying to separate the mindset. You keep trying to separate the mindset and the action of the capitalist from capitalism. And literally, what Sean's trying to tell you is that capitalism incentivizes these mindset and actions. Period. So these hyper individualistic actions are a consequence of capitalism because it requires people to eat people. It requires an impoverishment class. So it incentivizes hyper individualism.
Sure, but let's try to use an example outside of capitalism, right? So let's say human drive is to, I don't know, let's say somebody has a drive to just unalive people. We know these people exist. They're called serial unalivers, right? Because that incentive for that person is there doesn't mean we don't make a law against it, right? In the same token, we can't physically change the incentive structure of capitalism. However, we could legislate against capital to restrict that incentive. And does that make sense? And that's what I'm pushing for.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Because the capitalistic structure.
We're not talking about what we can do, like what liberal policies we can implement to try and make you feel better about the shittiness of capitalism. I'm talking about the stifling of innovation that capitalism does. Like the argument was capitalism provides incentive to invent things, and I've given an example, a major example, in which innovation was stifled that could have actually progressed way further than we actually are. And you're just denying that and trying to say no. It was a different motivation and a different incentive, and so like that's not capitalism's fault, and it is.
I think I understand you a little bit better now. Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. And listen, I don't know you obviously, so I just want to ask you this, but like, in a nutshell, briefly, your idea would be like when you say socialism, you're talking about the means of production, right? Owning the means of production. Where we
before you answer that, guys, apparently we just got like a 10-minute restriction. So tap the screen, share the live, send any gifts that you can, especially for Ari and Sean. Show Ari and Sean some love. Make sure that they are being appreciated. Hit that follow button, tap the screen, send them all the gifts, and also hit their pay links. Protect the live, guys. Please, please, please protect the live. Do all the things.
Did they tell us what the restriction was for, Santana?
I think they got me from earlier for like bullying. I think it was just caught up late.
So yeah, just correct me if I'm wrong, but are you talking about what you would like to see is full ownership of means of production? That sort of like it really just taking down the entire capitalistic structure and replacing it with something like Marxism, or is that kind of your thought process?
Yeah, the ownership of the means of production being owned by the working class for the reason of human need in order to create a communistic society.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I disagree. I think that it overlooks the incentive structure, in my opinion. And I think leaving that carrot and stick. I think leaving that carrot and stick there, and then regulate.
Can you be more specific, real quick? Can you be more specific?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by it doesn't take into account the incentive structure. What does that mean? What incentive structure?
Greed.
Of the greed of capitalism?
Yep. The greed of people.
We would be getting rid of
the greed and ego of people. You're never going to get rid of that.
If you create a system in which it does not incentivize like poverty, then what is the issue with greed?
Wait, say again. If I create a system that doesn't incentivize poverty?
Yes.
So you think capitalism incentivizes poverty?
It necessitates it, but if you create a system that doesn't incentivize poverty, what is the issue with greed?
Forgive me, I don't know if I'm registering your question.
If you and I are, I'll give you an example. If you and I, there's two different examples, by the way. This is the first one. If you and I are in a house and we're stuck in that house, there's no way out of that house, and there's scarcity of food.
Right.
And the house incentivizes us to hoard the food to ourselves and to starve out the other person as much as we possibly can, but only give them enough food so that they barely survive, then we're going to become greedy. Correct?
Good point.
Let's say that we move that somewhere else. Let's say you and I are stuck inside of a grocery store, and let's pretend that greed is a natural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You and I are stuck inside of a grocery store. There is plenty of food. We will literally eat ourselves to death if we are greedy in that grocery store. What is the issue with greed in the grocery store situation?
I don't see one in that situation because it's a survival. It goes down to the very most basic primal aspect, which is survival. And so at that point, it's imano, right?
Well, I'm talking in the grocery store situation.
Yeah, if we're stuck inside of a grocery store, right? We know there's even though there's a lot of food, there's still a limit, right?
There's no limit in this grocery store.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, I mean, but that's just not reality.
Well, there's
right?
no limit that we can get to. Like if we try to get to the limit, we will literally unalive by eating ourselves to death.
But to see, that's just not reality. That's just not. I mean, okay. So this comes to the scarcity argument, right? Now, I agree with you.
I don't know what the scarcity argument is.
Well, in your example, there's no scarcity, right? And so people argue today that scarcity is manufactured, right, through capitalism in order to keep people like, on the edge, right? But in reality, is there really scarcity in reality?
No,
I would
there's
say
not
no.
scarcity
I would
in
say
reality.
no. Yeah, I agree with you. I would say no. But the part that I would have an issue with is the ability to produce and keep up with that scarcity, right? Requires massive amount of human cooperation. And the only reason why we get that cooperation today is because there's an individual incentive for everybody to do so. It's not because we love each other. Now, I wish.
That's not. There's no incentive in capitalism to continue to do it other than you don't want to unalive from being poor.
Right, but that's going to be the case regardless. I mean, that's going to be a case in the socialism structure or capitalism structure. I'm going to have to work to. So then your argument would be the opposite. Then, if I was well fed, and had everything great, I really wouldn't have much incentive to work hard. So it kind of goes.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, let me ask you this question: if you had everything that you needed, I can see the D20 in your profile picture. If you had every incentive that you needed, would you become a bad DM because you're lazy?
Probably, yeah.
What? You wouldn't have the incentive to create interesting stories and challenges for your players to be able to overcome?
I mean, me personally, yes. On a whole, I don't know. I don't have that much faith in humanity. But me personally, because of my nature, I'd be fine. Like, I'm a creative, I'm an artist, I do all kinds of things. So I'd be great.
I wanna call out the bullshit of this, because we actually have evidence in reality. Like, look at what happened during COVID. So many people started small businesses and started hobbies and started creating during quarantine, right? They had nothing else to do, right? And people were on unemployment because they had to because of quarantine. And we saw so much innovation with small businesses because people had the time and energy to do it. So literally look back to COVID not that long ago and how much people were incentivized just to pick up hobbies that they did not normally have the time to do because of capitalism. So it's just bullshit. We actually have real evidence.
Hey, Ari, you remember when people were making bread? Like everybody's trying to learn how to make sourdough bread? That's fucking crazy.
I learned how to make sourdough bread. I learned how to do my nails by myself. I don't go to nail salon. I didn't go to nail salons. I learned how to do all that by myself. I myself picked up new skills because I had the time and energy.
Listen, I agree with you there. That is a good point. I will concede that is a good point. Let me ask you this. When it comes to small businesses, I know because a lot of the times in this country, we focus on the mega corps, which is great. I have no issue with that. But my concern is when we talk about this in a holistic sense, is the small business owner a capitalist? Is the guy that's making, that's employing, 20 people or 10 people, is he considered a capitalist as well because he's profiting off human labor or whatever the case is? Where do we draw the line on capitalism?
If he owns the means of production, yes.
What if he pays his employees a livable wage?
Still owns the means of production. He's still a capitalist.
So you'd want him to cease to exist, or his structure to, not him personally, but his structure to be changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so in that scenario, let's say if the workers own the means of production, what exactly do you mean by that? They have share in the company. They have what is the nitty gritty details? Because they're already getting paid a minimum a living wage. Yes, they don't own the assets or take any of the responsibility, but what do you see that even further down? Do they take the responsibility of the lawsuit? Do they have to come in for that too? Do they have to come in for funding capital when business is low? Do they have to, are they responsible for all those things too that a business owner has to go through? Because it's not always upside, right? There's a shit ton of downside to running a business.
There's a shit ton of downside in capitalism.
I would, but
what
answer
is
my
he-
question. Answer my question though, because I'll get on board with you if you say that they get to ride the high with me and they have to ride the low with me.
There is no low in socialism.
All right, that's just delusional.
Okay, then what's the low in socialism?
I mean, I don't think we've seen. Look, I could speculate, right? But
if we don't know what the low in socialism is, then you can't say that there would be one. You would have to give me the example. Like, lawsuits come when like a company does something like fairly neglectful, usually to cut corners for profit. But let's say that a company just does something on accident. In capitalism, if it causes injury, the reason for the lawsuit is because you're going to miss out on doing work and you no longer have a livelihood on the basis of this company doing something either neglectful or accidental or whatever else it may be. In socialism, you would have access to medical care that you would need, and you would be able to recover yourself without the need of that company doing anything.
no,
So, like,
I don't think you're understanding my question, right? Like, let's take for example, I own a business. Okay, the workers have, in your mind, the socialism, they have means of production, own the means of production, so they take as much responsibility as I do. One of my truck drivers gets into an accident, not his fault, just gets into an accident, and that person sues. Because you can do that. It doesn't always have to be that you're being sued because you done something bad. A lot of it is just accidental or oversight, right?
I already
Sometimes it's
talked
not.
about accidental
Okay, now
and
listen,
oversights.
listen. That person sues the company or sues that person, which is part of the company. Who pays for that lawsuit? Just me, or do all the workers have to then chip in because we all
What is
own
the
company?
payment for?
The payment is for that person that we hit's injuries and
they would
loss
already
of
have
work
health
and all kinds of stuff.
They would already have access to health care.
Yeah,
that would
but
not need to be provided by the company.
But you realize lawsuits aren't just medical, right? There's also emotional damage, stress, trauma. There's pain and suffering. There's loss of work and wages. There's all kinds of things.
I've already addressed all of these things.
No, you didn't.
Like,
You
in
addressed
my-
the medical
in my
part.
example,
you didn't address the loss of wages, pain and suffering.
Yes, I did. That's exactly what I addressed. I said, usually when someone is suing a company because a company did something accidental or neglectful, it is on the basis of you either losing time with like your family or losing time at work. This addresses both the emotional aspect and the financial aspect of you missing time at work. I then said that if a person has access to all of the neat things that they need, the resources that they need, they have housing, they have food, they have medical care, they have internet, because you need that to live in this day and age. They have a car, and they would get a new car if it was like a car accident, because you have access to all the resources that you need in order to live. Then that doesn't need to be provided by the company, making the lawsuit obsolete.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay, so then where does that funding come from?
The money, it's production. It's the production forces.
So it's the workers.
It's not money.
What do you mean the production? Wait, what?
It's the production. The production is for profit under capitalism. Under socialism, remember I said the production is for human need?
Right.
Yeah, so the bottom line wouldn't be how much profits you made. The bottom line would be how much do you help the community at large. Hey, Ari, I'm about to oop it to you.
Yeah, well, okay, man. It's a little utopia for me. I can get on board with some of your ideas. I definitely don't think...
Why don't you ask me how that can be done?
Okay, how can that be done?
Yeah, through the innovation forces of socialism, where we see labor going up on the basis of socialism and people having like stake in their community. Like
Somebody
what
say
Ari
steak?
said with the... We're not in Texas, Santana, chill out.
Not without A1, man. But go ahead.
Not without a one. Kick him.
What?
Not without a one is...
Would you rather me say ketchup?
Kick him. Kick him.
Ari?
No, let me wrap up real quick.
No, I'm playing. But like Ari's example already Ari's example gave you like the example of workers' incentive in order to help the community. Like with
but again, man, I just think the prop. See, we were I was with you for a while until this part, right? So like her example, if you're picking up a hobby, if you're doing these incentives because they make you happy, I'm all for that. However, there's still materials involved in that. There's still production that needs to be done, and I just don't. I mean, it almost sounds like you're getting.
And
it almost sounds like you're getting back to trade and barter.
Things still were getting done during COVID. Like, what are we talking about? Right? People were starting small bakeries out of their homes and putting them on shelves outside where people can just pick them up.
No, I agree with that.
We saw so much community collectivism during COVID. It was astounding, right? And so it's always silly to me when people are like, "Oh, this doesn't seem feasible." Honestly, like Sean's being nice to you, it's literally fucking inevitable. Like, you have no choice. Socialism, you have no choice. It's literally coming, or you're going to unalive. Because we're seeing with how technology's going, right? The reason why people are revolting against like Waymos and things like that is not because they're against technology, right? It's because they're against losing their means of survival. So if you want technology to keep progressing and you don't want to piss people off where we see them, we have a let's eat cake moment, socialism is literally inevitable, where you're going to have to just meet people's needs, period, point blank. Or they're going to unalive you. You cannot continue to hoard the resources and expect them to be okay with it as you are pricing them out of survival.
I 100% agree with you. I just disagree with the solution. And so
you have no choice with the solution, because capitalism is what's going to continue to breed that fighting. You literally don't have a choice in the solution.
I think we do. I think that we can listen.
How do you solution your way out of hoarding resources that people need for survival as you continue to price them out of those means for survival?
You put the government on top of capitalism.
They're already doing that. They're already doing that.
Yeah.
Like what is lobbying?
Well, that's why I say, listen, I don't want to take it to the extreme.
Wait. I got to do this, and then like we got to wrap it up. But like you said, we put the government on top of capitalism. Give me 1 second here. This right here. This is what happens when we put the government on top of capitalism.
Can't see it if you're showing it on.
No, I'm just about to play a sound.
And then I got as a gift, another gift, I said to Intel, give the United States, they needed something, they needed some help, the chip maker. I said, give the United States of America, I'll do it for you, but give the United States of America 10% of your company. He said, you have a deal. He said it so fast, I said I should have asked for more. But he said, you have a deal. And that stake is now worth $80 billion. I made $80 billion for the country in 8 months. Does anybody talk about it? No. Have a good time. Have a good flight. Enjoy the plane.
So Donald Trump literally extorted Intel, and apparently there's $80 billion sitting somewhere that didn't help the American citizens. But Donald Trump actually made $2.2 billion himself. So, yeah.
But isn't that because corporations are on? See, in that aspect, and it's a good example, Santana. But in that aspect, it feels like the government is begging for
from the corporation. Because you cannot address
I'm saying flip that around. Put the government above the corporations.
Again, what is lobbying?
Well, we'd have to get rid of that, but listen.
Oh, great. How do we get rid of lobbying while lobbying is happening?
Citizens United. We gotta overturn Citizens United.
How did you?
Wait.
Why is Citizens United? Oh, okay.
Wait. There's no way we're going to overturn Citizens United because the Supreme Court just ruled this week that there should be no cap on spending when it comes to political campaigns. They just literally removed the cap for spending. So now not only can Citizens United donate to their heart desire, but they can quote unquote spend as much as they want. We're literally going in the opposite direction.
Also, like, why would they be incentivized to get rid of Citizens United when they're getting paid to keep up with Citizens United? Where's the incentive structure to get rid of it when they're getting paid to maintain it?
Fair point.
Silence. Okay, now I'm going to hit you with a throat punch since you want to leave, since you Santana has to close out too. How do you legislate the coercive measures of rape out of capitalism?
Oh shit.
That's honestly a really good question.
It is a good question. Yeah, I concede, y'all.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
Hey, look, I'm an honest guy, man. I'm here to figure it out too. So,
look,
you guys made some great points.
Just become a Marxist with us, Brody. Like that's all you got.
I can't do that. I might do DSA, but I can't go as far.
DSA.
Yeah, I can't go as far as Marxist. That's just crazy.
This is what I mean. This is exactly what someone who said A1 would say. Honestly,
I can't. That's just to me. Like I just haven't, and maybe give me some time, but I just don't feel like you've made that part of the argument to me yet. I think you've made the first half, but I just don't feel like the latter half makes sense to me yet. So, but listen, my ears are open. We certainly have a problem in this country, and I'm gonna keep tuned in.
What if I said that DSA was hiding Hunter Biden's laptop?
I don't think that's true.
I tried.
Okay.
I will say the concession told me enough because I have had liberals argue for the rape. So
really,
yes, because liberalism does that. There have been liberals who have argued for the rape to me. So just because they want
I
to
find that very hard to believe. But
no, I've seen it. I've witnessed it.
Really?
Because liberals are no different than conservatives. Y'all just think it's all different, but they're literally no different. They just have a different face on. One does the racism to your face. One does it with a knife behind their back, pretending like they're not racist. So they're just one of the same coin. And so, yes, I have had liberals argue for the rape to me.
Yep.
Okay. Well, listen, I can't argue with that, but I appreciate you having me up, Santana. Good convo, and you gave me some things to think about. But I'd also hope that you consider my perspective too.
No,
I wasn't listening most of the time. I appreciate it though. Have a good one.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Well, I understand your perspective completely. The issue is that it's been addressed within like Marxist analysis of capitalism. And it's been shown to be something that doesn't create any liberty for oppressed classes.
Yep. Guys, we got to get out of here because we got to get over to Athena's. I got to run. I told her we were going to be there a while ago. Guys, this is Athena's backup account right here. We're going to raid Athena. We're all going to go over and raid Athena. I'm going to go over. I'll be there on my main account. Let's get over and show Athena some love. Also, Jared, thank you so much for the $25 donation. I looked into it and I don't see it yet. I know Mitch McConnell's been hospitalized, but I don't see him dying. Also, Melissa, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Guys, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go raid Athena. We're all going to go over to Athena's. This is it. Kim Possible 3_2.0. Let's get over there. Let's go show her some love. I will be over there as well, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the gifts and taps, likes, and shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being absolutely amazing. I love you all. And as always,